We were on the Country versus Metal podcast with Leif Shively Band. What is up, man?
What's up, dude?
How's it going?
Oh, dude, hanging out. And we got Leif and Kyle Roop with us.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Thanks for having us, man.
Dude, thanks for coming on. And
what episode is this?
Dude, I think we're in the 50s.
Do you number your episodes?
Yeah. Thankfully, they say previous episode and they have the number, because if they didn't, I would totally.
Do you ever
have
try
no
to say
idea.
like it's a super good episode for like number 100 or number 200? You know what I mean?
No, I just fire them off.
Just
fire them off as they go. Yeah, I don't hoard gold. You know what I mean? There's a lot of artists that do, and they're like, I'm waiting for the right time to release this song. And I'm like, you're just never going to release it because it's never the right time.
Quit procrastinating. Just do it,
Yeah,
man.
the listener, the audience will decide when it's the time for this song to hit.
Right.
At
Yeah,
least
man.
that's what I tell people.
The right time is now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right in the current right now. Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
hey, this is, I guess, all this is kind of improvised and freeform, but before we started the podcast, Leif was in there and he was like, dude, Patrick used to play for Brian Martin. Is that true?
Yeah.
I played a show with him. Yeah. That's one of the reasons I got in the country, because
Dude, that's wild, man. What a small world. I've known Brian since I was probably 17 or 18. And
oh, really?
Where the studio is at is here in Grand Cane. I tell everybody Shreveport because no one knows where Grand Cane's at,
Yeah.
And I think Brian's I think he grew up maybe like 45 minutes south of here. I think around Zawali. So he's pretty close, man.
That's more like 35 minutes.
Yeah, it's right down the road, man. So small world. He said, I was like, no shit, man. That's wild.
Yeah. His manager, Joe Barrick, I've been friends with forever. And he just called me up. He said, dude, I need a guitar player. And I was like, okay, when am I playing? He's like, country. And he sent me these songs.
That's when you started Country versus Metal.
The guy that was drumming for him, the guy, his drummer, which was my drummer, and he was just like, dude, it's time for you to listen to country. He's like, dude, I thought Luke Bryan and Luke Combs were the same person. I was trying to find Hurricane. I was typing in Luke Bryan Hurricane. And the guy, he was like, no. And then I remember looking, and when you get sent a scent list, it doesn't have the artist.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, I don't know any of these songs. And I remember calling his manager, my friend, and he's like, you don't know who George Strait is? I'm like, no. He's like, you've never heard that name? I'm like, no. And he goes, George Jones? I was like, no, I don't know. I don't know any of that. And because we had an association, I was managing a country band, and then the one guitar player had a kid, and I was like, well, I play guitar. But like, I'd never heard the originals. I never heard them. I just was like, okay, at a rehearsal, they're like, play this, play that, play that. I played rhythm. It was really easy. I was like, this is easy.
Yeah, 3 chords in the truth.
And the kind of the songs we were playing, like that, I hate that one Luke Bryan song, Country Girl. That's like what, like E major, like it's in the E. It's the scale.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so easy.
Yeah. So Patrick, when you were growing up, like, did your parents listen to music, or did they mainly listen to rock stuff, or it just?
Oh, dude.
Living here in the South, like it's country music, like it's just everywhere. It's in our DNA. You can't get away from it.
It's deliverance.
My dad.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Dude, my dad. It was Leonard Skinner, or I remember one buddy. He was like, I remember he was all excited. He had his iPod. And my dad's like, put on something good. We were all like having some beverages, and he put on Led Zeppelin. He skipped a Leonard Skinner song to put on like Led Zeppelin. My dad, he had tears in his eyes as my dad freaked out. My dad, he was like a huge Leonard Skinner fan. Like, he went to the funerals. I don't know if he made it. I don't know if that's a story like where it's like something had. I don't know. He used to be fun back in the day. And I don't think he actually made it to the funerals, but he was very serious. Like my dad, we were doing a talent show for high school, and he told me, he said, why don't you play that song by Marilyn Manson, The Dope Show? And I was like, dude, like you're always mad when I'm suspended, but this would be on you. Like, I'm not gonna go.
Play
He's
Highway
like,
to
he's got a
Hell.
cool beat. He, like he took me to like Metallica. He wasn't a big metalhead, but it's crazy. Is like, I remember I told my dad, I said, "This is going to be your new Simple Man," and he was like, "No." I remember he made me turn
No.
he made me turn Shinedown off. He said, "There's only one band that does that song. Turn it off." And he didn't want to hear it. He's very disciplined, very old, but he's not at the same time. And I just remember him being like, "This is going to be your new Simple Man." And I put on Uncle Lucius, "Keep the Wolves Away," and he was like, "He's like, dude, this is good." He said, "This is really good." And he's like, "What's this called?" And I was, I was like, it's like Texas country, Dad, and I got this thing called Red Dirt, and I'm him listening to Shane Smith and the Saints, and he's like, "This is really good." And it's weird because like he went to his first. He's always hated country music. He never listened to it, and it's funny. He was like, I'm gonna go listen to some country," and I'm like, "Cool, go ahead, Dad." And he goes to the my cousin she worked for some media company, so they had passes for whatever, is it CMT in Nashville, where they do like the country music awards or whatever, and it's a bunch of shows, and he went, and it was his first thing in country, and he came back, and I think he said Luke Combs, I don't know, he said one artist let his band off for the night, and he did it acoustic, and I appreciate the way how he treated his workers. I was like, bandmates. But and he really liked Keith Urban. He was like, "Yeah, that guy Keith Urban's really good. He's a really good guitar player." And I was like, "Do you know any of the songs?" He's like, "Nope." But he did. I would appreciate it if he would have went somewhere down in Texas, because that's what I was talking about, But it was it is funny because I asked him, I said, "How come we never had this on the radio?" And he was like, "Because it's my radio, dude." Because that's how it was. Like if he didn't like it, it was off.
Yeah.
And he didn't even really, when I would be playing guitar, he'd be like, my dad, I love my dad. He's very nice, but he wanted me to be an athlete. That's what he wanted. He wanted me to be a major league baseball player. So he'd be like, "Shut up, Jimmy. Put down that guitar and let's go throw that ball around." Yeah. And I'd be like, "Okay." And I would throw. He wanted me to be a pitcher. And I'd throw and get tired of it, and then just like throw it at a window, break the window. And like, I feel bad. Like, I get it. Like, then you grow up and you hear like, "Oh, your dad used to throw like 90 miles an hour, and he was a rising star." And I'm thinking,
You let him down.
Then he had me. I get it. His dream stopped, and he was trying to continue on with me, and I just no.
You're the black sheep of the family, man. Yeah, we kind of have similar stories, really, my mom plays piano and sings a little bit, but like no one else in my family plays music whatsoever. So I was always kind of the odd man out, But I remember you talking about your dad really liked Leonard Skinner. Dude, the first concert I ever saw, I was 14. I'd been playing guitar for like a year, maybe a year and a half. And here in Shreveport, they had Ted Nugent, Deep Purple, and Leonard Skinner, playing together doing this tour. And somehow me and my buddy got front row tickets, and Steve Morse threw me a guitar pick, and I caught it. And I still have it. I have it framed in the studio here to this day. And that's when I knew, I was like, screw everything else. This is it. This is my life. This is who I am now. Yeah. So it was a big moment for me, man. It was really cool.
Random, but did you ever listen to Dixie Dregs?
Yes.
Dude, he's so badass.
Yeah,
Dixie Dregs.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's some good stuff, man. But yeah, I love that whole era of music. Really, dude, one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best, not only like songwriters as a band, but like performers, if you've never seen them live, is Foreigner. Dude.
Foreigner.
Oh, man.
That's Brad Gillis, isn't it?
Dude, Jukebox Hero, all those hits, man. Dude, they slay, man. They're like 80 years old, still killing it. They're so good, man. So good.
Yeah, dude, there's so many of those bands at that age too that they're not killing it. They're just killing their reputation.
Yeah.
Like, oh my. Oh man, I hate this. Like Motley Crue. I was like, come on.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're still around to me. I don't think they're killing it, but I don't know.
Wait,
Yeah,
you know,
dude. I went to go see him. And thankfully, I love John Five. John Five is an incredible guitar player. But I got to see Mick Mars, and even with his condition and how old he was, he's so underrated.
Yeah.
Dude, so much sound comes out of him, and he's written some great licks, some of the greatest riffs and everything of the time. Like a lot of like my underrated list is like Mick Mars, Jake E. Lee, and like just all those guys. It's just crazy. Like they've written some of the every time I pick up the guitar, I'll bark at the moon.
Oh, dude, Jake
You know what I
Lee
mean?
might have been one of the best of the Aussie guitarists.
Yeah, man. He just on a writing basis, like even kind of newer, like guys like John Frusciante and stuff. Like they're not technical, but like
They write great parts.
I would rather listen to their stuff than Tim Henson shred. I listen to a lot of Tim Henson stuff and guys like that, and it's cool. It's like a flash in the pan, but it's not memorable. I walk around all day humming the intro to Scar Tissue or something. There's just something that's really really good and cool and musical about a lot of those players. They may not be technical, but man, they left an impression on you with what they wrote. It was a big deal. I think Jimmy Page is a classic example of that.
He wrote great parts.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy with John? I didn't realize he was still alive. I thought he had OD'd until Jared Flushy from Giovanni and
I know Jared. I've known Jared for a while. He's a cool dude.
He posted something. I was like, he's still alive?
Yeah.
I was like, why have I thought all these years that they like? I'm like, oh my God. I felt so stupid. It's like I've had a lot of moments like.
Who was it?
The first guitarist that died in that group was Hillel. That was you done with the Chili Peppers, right?
No, I think he's talking about John 5, right, Patrick? Is that what you're talking about?
John,
John Frusciante.
Frusciante, yeah.
Frusciante?
Yeah, they had a guitarist who died in the very beginning. The guy's last name was Hillel.
Yeah.
I read the book Scar Tissue.
Yes. Was it after him that Dave Navarro came in for the album?
So John Frusciante left, then Dave Navarro stepped in. Then John Frusciante later came back, and then that other guy Josh came in.
Yes,
and then John came back again.
Yeah. What a whirlwind, man! That's some great music, though, man. I'm a huge fan of them. There's not much I don't like, dude. A lot of people are like, "Well, what's your favorite band?" I'm like, I just like songs, man. I don't care who sings it. I just like, I'm all about the song,
Underrated for me, Thin Lizzy.
Thin Lizzy was great, dude. We were talking about the other day, man. We were, what was that, Jailbreak? That's some really
Chinatown.
Yeah. Dude, they had some really good stuff, man. So talented.
Well, that's Gary Moore playing guitar in that group.
Was it?
Yeah, he's a monster. Yeah. Way before his time.
So many legends.
Yeah. I know about them just through Metallica. That was my gateway into them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really funny that, like Whiskey in the Jar, you listen to Metallica's version. I think they tuned down to E flat or something. It may be lower than that. And then you go listen to Thin Lizzy, it's like, but it's like totally different,
Sounds like Irish Celtic.
Yeah, exactly. But it's crazy to think. Like, I really wish. How old are you, Patrick?
How old am I?
Yes.
43.
43. Okay, so I'm fixing to be 37. So we're close. I can remember, and I still think about this sometimes. It's like, how cool would it have been to grown up like in the 60s and 70s and witness a new act like AC/DC or Thin Lizzy, like how big and larger than life that was, especially, once you got away from mono speakers and you finally actually got a stereo speaker set. and Back in Black comes on, that stuff still slaps to this day.
It still sounds
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine listening to that back then, and I bet it was just like, I could see people's parents being like, "This is demonic."
I wish I could have seen Van Halen prom.
Oh, dude, yeah. It's wild to think about, man. I feel like I missed a lot.
Yeah, you said demonic. Was that Detroit Rock City, where the mom was like, "Kiss." What is it? Knights in Satan's service.
Yeah,
that's it.
Knights in Satan's service. Yeah, I think that was it, or it was something really close to that.
Yeah, she lit the tickets and lit her cigarette with it.
Oh yeah,
No.
I've heard so many things. Like, you listen to Pink Floyd's "Dark Side of the Moon" backwards, it's like some demonic, chant or something. And the other big one was AC/DC. It was "After Christ, Devil Comes."
Yeah.
Like, come on, man, that's so dumb.
What is it like? They always say what Pink Floyd always lines up with. Is it the Wizard of Oz?
Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
After
I've
the
actually-
third roar.
Like,
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, I've never done it. I've always heard about it. I want to try it, but I actually think everything's on YouTube now. I think there are people who actually done it and put it on YouTube, and it was factual. I haven't looked it up, but after we've talked about this just now, I'm probably after the podcast, I'm going to go check it out.
That's fine. I was just in the car with somebody, and time came on, and it's all the clocks ringing.
Oh yeah,
They're like, "What is this?" And they just click past it. I was like,
what have you done?
What did you
Dude.
just do? Give it a second.
Man, dude. So I don't know of anybody who isn't a David Gilmour fan. You know,
Not be.
yeah, they may not like Pink Floyd or like some of the music, but they enjoy his playing. He's a great player. If you haven't checked it out, and this came out in 2007, and he came
Instrumental?
out. Yeah, no. It's his solo album. David Gilmour came out with a solo album called. It was called "On an Island," and it's kind of a concept
I have it.
album. Dude, it's so good, man.
He's got his daughter on it with him.
Oh no, that's the new one.
That one's really good.
He came out with a new one. I've only heard a couple songs. It was really, really good. I'm sure the whole thing's really good. But if you're a Pink Floyd fan, you should definitely check out his solo stuff if you haven't yet. It's really good.
Yeah, I have that. And it's just funny, like, yeah, and it's always like, why is Eric Clapton called Slow Hands when David Gilmour is, you know what I mean? Like,
He should be
the
molasses
precision.
hands or something.
Molasses.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's soaking that note.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. Yeah,
I love
he's
it.
one of my favorites.
dude, that the hang time of a note like that, it's
Dude, that's a
beautiful.
great word for it. I've never heard anybody say
Hang time.
that. The hang time, man, and the control on those hang
Yeah,
times.
and the
Dude, that's
precision
the
about it,
art
and
itself.
but like your brain wants more, and I love that tension when you listen to it. And
Yes.
you're like, go to the next goddamn note, David. And he
Wait,
does
go
it.
back.
And then it's like he hits another one. You're like, oh, there's that dopamine
Yeah, it's
again.
a sweet release, man.
Yeah. I love
yeah,
it.
he's so good, man. And there's not many players out there like him,
Yeah, it's a
even-
shame they hate each other, like Roger Waters.
Oh,
and
do they?
Yeah, they do.
I don't know any
Oh, it's-
backstory on it.
It's wild, man.
Really?
Every time I see an interview, they're like, "I just wish we could sell the whole catalog," and I'm like, "What?"
Bro,
And they did.
screw it.
They recently did, I believe, and they're like, "Dude, we're done with this thing," and it's just like, I just to see them talk about each other, like it's the same with like Aerosmith when they interview each other separately, and they're like,
Screw that
they're
guy.
like, oh, yeah, and I'm like, oh my god, they all like dislike each other. It's crazy. But that's like if you've ever read Motley Crue's The Dirt, how they write in their own perspectives, and like I think Vince Neil was like, he was like, if Tommy Lee had breast, he'd be a Spice Girl. Like just how they just talk smack all over, like, and they just all just like, nah, Tommy's a he's a POS and blah blah blah, and I'm just like, God, man, and I get it. If you can't fist fight your best friend, are you really friends?
Yeah. Does it really mean anything?
Well, one day we're gonna go at it. One of these days.
I promise you I'm going to lose.
One day you're gonna
Yeah.
go for this belt.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, we actually have a belt that we can fight over.
Yeah, dude. Have you seen the belt? Hey, I want to go get the belt. Everybody needs to see the
Like,
belt.
belt.
not joking. Okay, so we're morons. You know, we have the studio, and I wanted to surprise Kyle one day. I was like, man, you know what the studio needs? Fucking title belt.
A title
And
belt.
so I have one made, like a legit
Nice.
title belt. He's bringing it in now. Oh yeah, I wanted to say one thing. Tell Kane and Bryce to stop doing all the wrestling stuff. I was there first. I'm kidding.
Dude.
Hey, can I be honest with you? Actually, that guy is the awesomest guy ever. Love
Yeah.
his stuff.
120 carat crafted
Oh my
in
god.
Malaysia. No, I'm just. I don't know if you can see it in the light. I don't know how that's coming across there, but yeah, he showed up with this. I was like, dude, that's the dumbest thing you've ever done, but like the coolest thing you've ever done at the same time.
Hey, you can write it off as for the business.
Dude, it's wild, man. Like, you know, it's all about the theatrics, you know. We played Daytona Bike Week. Was this 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
No. We did that. But the week after that, we went to Houston for this producers
Houston.
conference.
It was Houston. Okay.
So all these bands are playing, we're hanging out, and I'm backstage packing my guitar, and I open a case, and the title belt's in there. I was like, dude, you came all the way to freaking Houston with this title belt? And a band member saw it and was like, what is that? Can we take pictures with it? And then 30 minutes later, everybody's taking pictures with it. I'm just looking at Leif like, man, I'm not even mad. Like, this is great. This is cool.
I told you it would be a hit. I knew what was coming. I knew it. I just knew it.
So the title belt's here to stay, man. It's become a staple in the community.
Well, no one
That's
that,
funny.
but our new entrance music to the shows, I shouldn't tell people this, but it might be Stone Cold Steve Austin if they don't copyright infringe me for it.
No, hopefully not. We'll just re-record it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The glass breaks, then we come out.
That's funny.
Oh, man. Yeah,
Walkout music for a band.
I don't know if you've seen Leif like bald headed with the Stone Cold jacket.
Yeah, I shaved my head one time,
Dude,
and
it looks exactly like him. It's crazy.
I want to meet him someday. He's my hero.
Yeah, maybe he'll come track an album with us.
Steve Austin.
Wait, I did it. Actually, you remember we did a music video with me dressed as Stone Cold.
Yeah, we did. I
You
forgot
remember
about that, man. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, dude.
Shaved my head and everything.
I think there's a couple wrestling guys who do music.
Chris Jericho,
Fozzy.
yeah.
Man, it was actually pretty good. It wasn't my bag of tea, you know. It's not something I listen to every day, but I mean, he's really good. You know, I enjoyed it. It was cool.
Well, the only reason we really got in this industry was to try to break into wrestling using the music, and therefore then we could like have a feud with Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
It's the only reason.
I've been waiting my whole life to take him down.
Yeah, so if you know him, call him up.
it worked for Insane Clown Posse, right?
Right?
Yeah.
They got their own wrestling.
God,
Can't
man.
beat them. Oh, that's
We're
funny.
gonna find out who the greatest wrestling musician is of all time, and it's me. Damn it!
That's like I was talking to Mike Ryan, and I asked him. I said, if there's the last beer in the cooler, who's an artist you wouldn't want to wrestle for it? And he said, Coetzel. Is there an artist that you wouldn't want to wrestle for the last drink in a cooler? Because you're
There's
a big
not
dude.
one that I won't wrestle.
Yeah.
What's your stats? I know you told me before.
Hey, jiu-jitsu heavyweight,
Yeah.
Mississippi champion.
Yeah, he won championship, you know. I can run pretty fast if I need to. That's about all I got.
I'm more of a
probably
stab and run.
Yeah, I'm probably better at talking my way out of a situation than anything.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to beat anybody up. I just want to do fake wrestling. That's all I really want to do.
Yeah. I just want to tombstone people.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I want to hit people with chairs.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Wrestling's still a huge thing, you know. I used to be into it when I was a kid, which I think every male was. Probably
Yeah.
females too, but more on the male side. I remember going to I forgot what it was, some kind of cage match or something. And Kane was my favorite. And I remember my mom bought me a Kane mask. It was like $200. I still have it. I haven't put it in the studio yet. I need to find it.
You need to
and
put it
in
up
the
here.
studio. Yeah, it's become just a
You got
wrestling
the belt
deal.
for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got
There
accessories.
go.
Dude, I don't know why, but I always loved Paul Bearer. He came straight from hell. You know, like there's nothing better than the theatrics of wrestling.
Yeah, people love it, man. I get it, you know. I totally get it. But yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, if you think about it, they are the world's greatest actors. Think about this. They're live on TV. It's unscripted.
Dude, there's a lot of pressure.
Hey, you got to nail it. You're in front of a live crowd.
Yeah.
It is an act. There's live action theater. Like, you want to talk about being an actor? That's a real actor.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, there ain't no editing or reshoots.
Ain't no let's reshoot this again and get it right.
It's happening.
And you got to make people believe for a little bit. Suspend belief.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny is my cousin, she was a wrestler in the Women of Wrestling League, and she moved to California to be an actress.
Was this
so
like,
she tells
like back in the day, like 90s, or is this earlier?
It was
or later?
It's probably a little while ago. So she tells my great aunt, she goes, I got an acting job. And she goes, oh, that's great. What what did you land? She said wrestling. And my great aunt heard West Wing. So she's telling everybody she's going to be on the West Wing. It's a huge deal, blah, blah. Here she's doing Women of Wrestling as Easy Rider. Totally different from West Wing. But yeah, that was her wrestling name, my cousin Eleanor, Easy Rider. And she did that for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think, like, when I watched wrestling, it was like the Canadian earthquake and all those guys. And I remember, like, they all had like Mortal Kombat finishing moves and like ravishing Rick Rude, and it was cool. And then, like, you know, you grow up and you notice some people they don't grow out of it, and you know.
Well, hey, I say me. I'm over here with the title belt in the studio.
Yeah, give me a break.
So, hey, I'm coming back around, man.
In all honesty, though, okay, I tried this. It didn't pan out. I tried to get. You ever seen midget wrestling?
Yeah.
It is the greatest thing to ever happen to the world. If you haven't been to a midget wrestling event, like a good one, and to go watch it, you're missing out.
I've heard it's good.
Well, I'll put it this way. I called up like the big midget wrestling league. I'm trying to remember what it was called, but I actually got a hold of them, and I was like, guys, I want to shoot a music video. And I was not kidding. They did not take me seriously, but if they would have ever let it happen, we could have made the greatest music video ever. So call it all midget wrestling leagues. Hit me up.
The next video, it's happening.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Are you Eddie Hall, sir?
Oh, dude.
That's what.
Well, hey, Patrick, do you play? Do you have your own band? Like, do you write music or anything? Do you still play out?
Yeah. Not as much as we used to. We went from doing like 130 shows a year to nothing. But I definitely miss it. I do like.
Did you just kind of get busy with other stuff, or?
No, it's just, you know, it just egos.
I get it.
Something came up, you know, we got free studio time, and the guy that gave us free studio time said, hey, I want you all to release it under this. If you don't, I'm going to sue you. So I was like, well, that's easy. We release it like that. You know, we use your studio. The guy gave us the studio. Like, we were in Nashville. It was a nice studio. And he was like, hey, I'll give you 2 days for free. You know, just pay for the engineer. That's all I had to pay. I paid for an engineer and had to bring a hard drive.
Yeah.
And he was just like, hey, man, I want you to release it as this. I think it would do better as this, because we had a band name.
Did he want royalties off of that for doing it?
Like the masters or anything?
No. He had
Really?
writing credits on some of the songs, but he was like, I'm already registered on BMI. And I'm fine with that.
He did publishing.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. And he just said, just release it as this. And I was like, well, that's easy.
Yeah.
Let's release it as that. And there was people like, no, we're going to do this, that, and this. I said, we can release it as that and still tour as the band name.
Mm.
And it just got
Fell apart.
Just egos and, you know,
Yeah.
drugs.
Yeah. Well, on a random note, I told you this because I told you Patrick played and stuff. We were going to get Patrick to come in and play on the CCR stuff.
dude, bring it on, man.
Yeah,
Dude, I
I'll
would
even
love
do
to.
guest
I,
star.
dude, I love. It's funny is for so long I've always only called Cody Kaneka and The Departed because when I was introduced to Cross Canadian Ragweed, he was like, "We're never getting back together. Stop talking about it." And when
It's
I
like
went to
Taylor
go see
Swift song.
Cody,
Yeah.
people would be like, "Play some Ragweed, play some Rag." Like the guys go, "Play Freebird," and I'm like, "Dude, come on, man.
It's
I'm here."
impossible to get away from. I know.
Play Carney
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, and
impossible.
I'm like, dude, I'm here for Cody, and dude, his family, they're like the nicest people. They've been nothing but they're fantastic. Like if you go on Shannon, his wife's post, the hashtag it's country versus metal, and what I love is Cody. He does metal versus country, and I ain't never gonna correct him. You know what I mean? Like, but like, dude, one of the coolest rock star when people are like, what's like the coolest thing that's ever happened to you from TikTok? I walked backstage at Texas Motor Speedway, and I didn't know where to go. They said just walk around that truck and you'd be backstage. And I walk around. And there's Tanner Ussery. I'm like, hey man, what's up? And then there's Cody with Waves in April, and I was like, hey guys, what's going on? Because I met him before, and Cody goes, hey man, can we get a picture? And I was like, I thought, he was like, nah, I want you to take a picture with my family. I was like, dude, this is like the coolest thing ever. And I took a picture with his kids, and I was like, dude, like, he's just a cool guy. He probably didn't understand like how much I was like, dude, I didn't know what to do because I was just back there by myself, and I'm like,
fangirling.
oh yeah,
Dude,
how could you
dude,
not?
Jerks is so cool. Like they got done their set, and I come walking back, and I was like, hey man, great set. And there's Cody. With Dirks, he's like, I'll be right back, man. I'm getting a tattoo. And I was like, dude, that's rock and roll. And Cody drove him off, and he came back. He had a brand new tattoo. But yeah, dude, are you guys still recording that?
We're still recording that. I can tell you this: we do have tracks from Brian down. We have tracks from the Dirty Roses down. We have tracks from Craig Wayne Boyd down, and we would like to get about one more artist on it. The one I really wanted. Well, I haven't been able to get a hold of. I'm still trying to make that happen, but we'll just have to see what we can do.
Do you know? I know a band that personally asked me if you want to know their name.
I would like to know their name.
Dexter and the Moon Rocks.
Dude, I listened to them. They were awesome. Dude,
Yeah,
please let's make that happen because they are, dude. I didn't know about them until like he turned me on to them. They've got some badass shit.
Cool. Hey, dude, I'm in, man. I'm totally
saw
in.
him at a show.
Dude, it's been difficult. There's some red tape to get through with like legalities and stuff, which is just part of it. And we talked to Shannon on the phone. It's probably last year, close to a year ago, and we were kind of hashing out some details, and even getting all these details together, rounding guys up to get in here,
To get them in.
It's like herding chickens,
But
and it's
we're almost done.
it's a slow roll, man.
But we are almost done. And like I said, I'd like to get one more. That would probably be it.
They approached me about it,
dude.
and they were like,
let's make it happen.
He was like, hey man, is that Cross Canadian Ragweed still going on? I was like, yeah. I said, I'm going to be talking to Leif on a podcast. And I said, I said, I can give him a call right now. And he was like, nah, man, just let him know that, dude, we love.
Yeah, dude.
There was one other guy there was one other guy, I think you may know him. I never could get a hold of because the only person I ever got a message from was the manager. And I love their band. It's Treaty Oak Revival. Those guys are awesome.
Yeah.
And they would fit it so well. Them and Dexter and the Moon Rocks would be bad.
Yeah,
that's all we need.
I don't know, Patrick, if you know Cody West. I talked to him.
He's got great stuff.
I talked to him maybe a month or two ago. He was wanting to do Cry Lonely, and he was like, "Man, I do it in my set." And he sent me a video of they already know the song. I'm like, "Man, y'all come on down, let's do it." So I'm still hashing out some details with them, and it's wild, man, because we actually plotted this and came up with this before there was any news.
We were doing this because, we were like super fans. In fact, I think me and you were probably too scared to talk. We actually met Cody at this. We're a sponsor of the TCMAs, the Texas Country Music Awards, every year. We got to meet him there, And like, I'm sure me and Kyle look like just two big like bodyguard.
Yeah, who are these wrestlers?
Yeah, who are these?
Want to cover my music?
Like there's no way these guys play music. Yeah,
yeah. But it's been a wild thing because when we first kind of formulated this in our mind, we were like, man, this would be really cool. Just because they had so many great songs, and I feel like they were really underrated, and not so much in their market. Everybody in the Texas Red Dirt scene knows about them. I'm talking
Legends.
about globally.
Yeah.
And I was
Absolutely.
like, man, I really want to do this. I think it would be really, really cool to put this together. And I start putting it in motion, not knowing if it would ever even become anything. So I started putting it in motion, and not 7 months later, the band announces they're getting back together. And I'm like, oh, this is great. But at the same time, people think I'm only doing this because the band's back together.
No.
So I wanted to make an official statement. I have audio timestamps on our hard drives way before it was ever announced that we started the project. So
Yeah, and that's what you initially asked me to if I could get in touch with Cody. So I don't know if with Cody Johnson needed permission, right? That's why you called me, and I was like,
my really close friend. He used to be my guitar tech. His name's Ethan Strunk. He is Luke Combs' tour manager. Shout out, Ethan. Love you, dude. He was talking to me a little bit about it, and he was like, man, you should hit up Kojo, because my brother, Ethan's brother, is Kojo's tour manager. So I hit up Troy, and he was like, dude, he's really interested. Have Cody call Cody and put it together. And so it's one of those things where it's like,
all he wanted was the blessing.
all he wanted was the blessing. That was it. And I'm not one of those guys that's I don't get pushy about things. Like, I'm not gonna be that, hey man, will you please come be a part of this? Like, I throw it out there, and if you really want to be a part of it and you think it's cool, I'm not gonna sit there and beg you to do it. So there's been a lot of that, and I think there's been some, not misconceptions, but like maybe people thinking that maybe we're BSing a little bit, but we're not. So if anybody hears this is legit.
Well, no offense, but like if I saw you and you said, "Hey, I'm a record producer," I'd be like,
"No, you're not."
But I mean, in all actuality, Kyle's the best guitar player I've ever met, and that includes that's anything.
Oh man,
I mean, you're phenomenal.
I appreciate it, man.
You beat me out for a gig. I don't even know if you know that.
What?
Somebody asked me if I would play guitar on their track, and I was like, hell yeah. And then they hit me up and they're like, hey man, I love your playing, but Kyle's the GOAT. And I was like, I got you. I totally get it. So they went with you.
Can you say who it was?
I kind of think I know who it was, but I can't remember.
We don't have to say any names.
But yeah, dude, I was like, dude, I totally get it. You want slide? I am not the guy.
Yeah.
That is one thing. But
it's cool, man. Like I do a lot of kind of side section work like that. I actually played on Bill Murray's new album, and all because of Leif. Leif, because I don't know if you've listened to Bill Murray. Dude,
I don't.
So good.
It's really cool. It's like heavy, almost sometimes gent rock with like slide, and like it's out there. And also, dude, it's unique. It's cool. I love hearing new takes on stuff.
You need to go check it out, man. The name of the album is called Great American Motorsports. But it's Bill Murray. Not everyone's like, man, Bill Murray done an album. I'm like, yeah. Not the actor, the band. He was, I believe he was in Attack Attack and a bunch of emo bands kind of back in the day, and he's kind of broke out and kind of doing his own thing, and he's really talented. And anyway, Leif sent him a message one day just on socials and was like, hey, dude, I heard some pedal steel guitar in one of your older tracks. You should get this guy to play on it. And he called me and was like, hey, man, will you play on the album? I'm like, well holy crap, secretly fangirling, like, yes, please.
Well, obviously, I listen to a lot of pedal steel. We're always hearing stuff. And I was like, this album is so awesome. But the only thing I could tell was the pedal steel were samples. Mm-hmm. And like, it doesn't, like, it's not quite there, And I was like, so I sent him a message. I was like, hey, man, like, let's get some real pedal steel on here. And he was like, hell yeah. Like, and what's cool is they've blown up. They're out there touring with Sleep Token now.
Oh yeah, they are with Sleep Token. I forgot about that. Yeah, they're out there.
And by the way, those guys are the greatest marketers ever. They have the funniest stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome.
If you haven't checked them out, you should, man. It's really, really cool music.
Yeah, I definitely need to.
And it's weird. That was just being a fan, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, dude. It's crazy, man. But, we've done a lot of cool stuff up here, met a lot of cool people, including you. And we just love doing it, man. We're going to be doing this in the next 30, 40 years. It ain't stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, dude. I tell you what, a group of really, dude, I love them Dirty Roses. Those are a great group of guys.
That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing them on the 12th.
Well, dude,
drive down to Virginia.
Dude, you couldn't be a nicer group of guys, and also really talented.
Yeah.
Love that singer's voice, man.
Yeah, they done. Done Constantly. They done the song Ragweeds Constantly.
So good.
So good. I'll send you a rough mix of it so you can check it out.
I got it.
They came in and
Leif sent it to me. I haven't.
Oh, did I send Constantly to you? I didn't remember. I know I sent you some others, but I never sent that.
Yeah, dude, that was just what they did that day.
That was how it is. That was in that
really?
state.
They were such a blast to work with. So talented, so nice, man. They're great.
No, that was a magical day. Is what that was.
It was, man. Yeah, it's rare, you get to be in the same room and record a band that is that talented and like they've played together so much they know each other. And being a producer, a lot of times you have to hold people's hands. Dude, I just sit back and let them talk it out, and I would throw in little ideas here and there, but like that was really just all them, man. It was so cool watching it happen.
Yeah.
Plus, they like each other. That's what I like.
Yeah,
I love being around guys.
Yeah.
Except for Ben, I feel like everybody hates Ben.
No, that dude.
Those guys are all. The last time I threw up was with them. Mike and the Moon Pies was playing, and this guy I was standing behind flicked his cigarette, and the ashes went in my mouth. I was like, I was like, I'm gonna get thrown out of this festival. I ran outside and was like throwing up, and he's like rubbing my back. He's like, man, why are you holding back? We puke all the time. Let it back. Because I was embarrassed. He's like, just let it go, brother. And like
were you drunk, like borderline fixing to throw up? And that's what sent you over the edge.
I didn't have a single drink yet, and yeah, and they're like, they're up, man. And I just remember he had a packet of Listerine, and he's like, you're gonna want this, and I was like, oh yeah.
Hey, dude, but if you're gonna spew into this,
yeah. I think that's the night we were on Cody's bus. I'm pretty sure because like it was Dave Matthews' old bus. They were telling me.
Oh yeah.
And I just remember they were like, who were their shoes on the bus, and I was like, oh no. I'm like, I think that was me. And like, it's dude, those guys are so much fun. I actually on Instagram like secretly called out. I was like, if there's one dude I want to have a guitar showdown with, who do you think it is? And it's only one person guess. And I don't know why I always call him Alex, Andrew. I was like watching him play. I'm like, dude, this guy, he plays like how I see myself, how I play, if that makes any sense,
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I would just love just to go at it. I just thought it'd be fun. Cause I kind of brought it up to him. He's like, what'd you say? Like, what do you mean? Called me out? And he was just like, I was like, not called out, it's a friendly
call out. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, one of the best things you can do as a musician, one of my favorite things is if you're like feeling like your instrument, you just hit a plateau, just hand your guitar to someone better and just watch them, if you can see through the tears in your eyes of them destroy.
It makes you think different. Yeah. It breaks you out of your own box.
Hey, well, that's what Kyle does. He'll hand me a guitar when he wants to like either to feel the fire.
To feel the fire. Yeah. It's
Thanks
an endless
for confirming
stream
I am still a god.
Yeah, it's just an endless stream of inspiration around here.
Yeah.
When he wants to feel the heat, he just hands me that thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
right when I think I'm getting good.
Goddamn, I step on that motherfucker and I burn his ass.
You want to hear something crazy? This is probably like the dumbest thing. Like if you know theory, you probably. I just recently, like with the major scale, I was like reading a book, and I'm like, I'm going back to the basics. You know, I always try to do that. Go back to the basics. I think you always forget stuff, and it was just a brand new book, and it says, when dealing with the major scale, you're always going to use all seven notes. And I was like, what? That's like half my computing power off.
Dude,
because normally I'd be like whole half, whole, you know what I mean? And then like you just remember 30 to 4 is a half, and then you're good. But you're using all, and I was like, how did I never see this? I felt so stupid.
Dude, it's really wild. There's all sorts of different ways to like visualize not just a fretboard, but an instrument in general. But talking about guitar, I know some really great players that I look up to, in the way they visualize the fretboard is totally different from me. Because when I first started playing, I memorized the pentatonic scales, and then I started adding in tritones, and then major sevenths and minor sevenths and dominant sevenths, and started putting this all together. And to me, for the longest time, it was a pentatonic scale with these little cool color notes that I put inside of it. You know, as dumb as it sounds, in my 8 brain, I was like, this is how it works for me. Well,
as you saw it in shapes.
Yeah. Well, no. I saw it more in a linear, like boxes down with really cool color notes in there. And then later, I actually like really got into music theory. I actually taught music theory for about 2 years. And getting into that, I saw how it was, like you said, like one day it all connected, and I saw everything in shapes. I was like, holy crap, this is just really cool shapes. And it's really crazy because when I started thinking that way, it rubbed off in my playing with like doing dyads or triads. All my licks started going up the fretboard instead of just vertical up and down, you know?
Yeah.
So it's wild, you know, the way someone visualizes a fretboard may be totally different. And that they're both great players, you know? It's wild the way the brain interprets things.
Well, he learned it all from me, is what he's getting.
And Slimmy's talking about. Yeah. Patrick, this is Slimmy.
This is our bass player and keyboard player. Actually, he's a, what do you call it? Utility man. He can do anything.
He's our hype guy.
He's also he's the good looks of the group.
Yeah. I actually, the title belt was all his idea. We've been stealing his thunder.
All of
it.
Hell of a buckle rash playing a guitar with that thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you know how bad it is. I'm not kidding.
Oh man,
Kyle, you wanna share them some theory?
Not really. My fingers hurt, man. I've been playing all day. I've been down in salt mines getting work done.
Also, it's just bad luck to play after you're telling everybody you know so much about theory.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it'll have to be in the next video. I might bust a lick.
Yeah.
Bust a lick.
Yeah,
I'll be there for
it. What was the Garth Brooks and the Devil, which was
Garth,
check out this tasty little
tasty dick.
what was that, SNL? So dumb.
Yeah, he goes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Fred's got
Will
slaps.
Ferrell.
Fred's got slapped.
Good stuff, man. But yeah,
That's fun. So you guys have a show with Austin Mead.
Yeah, on the 9th, was it the
May
9th?
9th.
May 9th here at what's the venue?
Frodin's Muscle Cars and Classic Guitars. I think I got that right.
Supposedly it's a venue in Shreveport that
I haven't gotten to go there yet.
Supposedly, yeah, it's news to me.
Yeah, it's like a muscle car and classic guitars place, which I like both those things.
Like, I live here. How do I not know about this? It must be new.
Yeah.
I think it's been there, and like they started making it a music place because it had like all this cool historical stuff.
Oh, I
don't know. I don't know. I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, I'm sure to be really cool.
The downtown or something?
Yeah,
the pictures look really cool. Like they've got some really cool. Like they have some like badass vintage gear in there.
Yeah.
Which means that we should probably ask them if we can borrow.
Yeah, let's butter them up. See if we can borrow some vintage stuff. The sweet.
Hey, man, you mind if I borrow, like, maybe 3 or 4 of these guitars for the weekend or something?
I'll bring them back, I swear.
Yeah. Just sign it out, Kane and Bryce.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, talking about gear, man. Have you played an Axe Effects yet? A Fractal?
No,
You
I
need
haven't
to.
played a Fractal or a Quad Cortex yet.
Skip everything else. Play the Fractal and then call me. Okay.
Act Effects
Yeah.
3.
Dude, it's great, man. I've had Kemper, all of them, and Fractal's the first time I've been like really happy with a quote unquote modeling solution. Um,
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm just saying it because we're talking about gear, and I know you play guitar and nerd out on that stuff. The Fractal Axe Effects 3 is their flagship unit, but they make smaller ones like the FM3, and they make an FM6 that's a little bigger. They're considerably cheaper because they have less processing power in it. So I mean, I think you can get like the FM3 used for like $600-700, but dude, it sounds so good, man. Definitely check them out, man.
Man, you were working that fucking sponsorship.
Man, Fractal sponsor. Send me another Axe Effects.
Send me one too while you're at it.
It's an old band one. No, they're
What's
really
the
cool.
sponsorship?
Check 'em out. Yeah.
Hey, well, actually, I do need to say that I'm sponsored by Bluesman Vintage Guitars, best guitar company in the world. Wait, can you even see that guitar there? Can you see my Van Halen
The
rip off?
yeah. I don't know what shape you'd
Get
call
a
that.
close-up shot of that thing,
If
man.
you've ever seen this beautiful thing, hand it to me, Slimmy. You got to show off the Bluesman stuff.
Dude, have you showed Patrick all the artifacts in the studio?
I have not.
We might take you and the listeners on a museum tour.
Should we take you on a museum tour?
The Kid Rock branch.
Yeah. Did you ever buy that Spawn?
We got it framed. Oh man.
We got Bob Rock's amp over here,
Yeah, dude.
Metallica fan.
Is this going to mess things up if I take you off here?
I have no
If
idea.
you do that?
If we
Probably,
okay, yeah. Let's not mess it up.
Okay.
Sit back down.
Yeah. I'll bring it over here into focus.
He's like wanting to bring you. He's wanting to put you in the studio with us.
Up next in the silent auction. So this is an original Hiwatt that was used on the Black album.
Oh wow.
Yeah, dude.
Damn.
Totally vintage, man. Built like a tank. Dude, yeah, we've got some cool stuff here, man. If you're ever down here, you need to come take the tour. It's only $25.
Hey, I think you actually you could take a tour of Muscle Shoals. I think didn't they do like a tour for people?
Probably.
I want to say they did.
I've only seen photos of Muscle Shoals, and it looked pretty small. Which you think Muscle Shoals, and you're thinking like Super Walmart, like massive studio, but it wasn't. It was really really small. But yeah, I bet they do tours and things like that. I don't know.
I want to say they were doing a thing like that. But
Are they still? Is it still open for like recording?
yeah, it is. I think they're back to. I think it is being used for recording.
Oh, okay, that's cool. We have to go down there.
Well, what's crazy is like it's
Let's
basically.
scope out our rivals.
Yeah. Hey, well, I told him, I was like, man, what we're gonna do to our rival studios? We're gonna pull up there with a tank like Degeneration X.
It's a tank. Yeah. Like a deranged DuPont.
Yeah. Could you imagine us rolling up all camoed out like, your recordings are done?
Y'all were shutting it down.
Shut it down.
So is Steel Fest? Is that a thing?
Do you want it to be a thing?
Well, okay. Well, I'll go ahead and tell you. I was talking to a good buddy of mine. He's a public, what do you call it, PR, public relations guy, and he had organized a lot of festivals. And so my mind kind of got to cranking after he was like, "Man, you should probably do something like this." And I was like, "Man, I might as well just like put it out there in the world and put like, would anybody actually want to do this?" And before I knew it, I think like 50 of the artists we recorded with were like, "Yeah, you gotta do this."
Yeah. So we're doing it.
Well, I mean, me and Kyle have talked about that for a long time, and I'm not going to reveal the plan that I currently have to go forward with because I've got to go ask some questions.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's kind of like the whole ragweed thing we were talking about, like the Steelfest thing. We talked about even before the whole ragweed project. We were like, man, it'd be really cool if we done Steelfest. One of these days we're going to do Steelfest. We got figured out. And Leif called me yesterday. He's like, hey, you want to just do it? I'm like, yeah, let's figure it out. So here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The time
Did
finally
you
came.
did you have like a naked Indian moment?
Yeah, dude, it was like
If
straight
you
out.
build it,
Morrison.
they will come.
Yeah, we both
Yeah.
had the same dream last night, and we were like, dude, you had the same dream too. Like,
Yeah. Except ours was a naked Hulk Hogan.
you're right. Yeah, with a single tear.
You're gonna throw steel fist, brother.
Are you ready to do this?
But yeah. Yeah, so we're going to put it together. We got some cool ideas brewed up with it. I think it could be a really cool thing. Yeah, we want it to be, Woodstock 3.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, but
remember what happened with the other one.
without the mudslinging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, so,
We want to be like the first one that was successful.
right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and iconic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't go to that Woodstock. I had an opportunity, and I'm like, nah. And then my friend was like, "Thank God you didn't come. It was terrible." He's like, "The music was great, but."
So much blood.
He's like, after day one, you're broke. Pizzas were
Yeah.
$50 and water was 10.
Oh,
What?
yeah, I'm sure that was miserable.
Man, the guys with water were killing it.
Man, that's what I'm going to do at Steelfest. I'm just going to be the water guy. $30 a pop.
$100 for this bottle of water.
Walk around like Bobby Boucher. It's cold.
But yeah, it's going to happen. We're just figuring the details out with it, and it's crazy. You come up with these ideas, and then you put them into motion, and like people see it happen, and they're like, "Man, like this is really cool," but they don't see like the previous 2 or 3 years that you've been plotting and think about it, and then trying to turn it into something tangible, and then
Well, because
Yeah.
a big part of it is, like over the years, you meet people that would be sponsors for it,
Yeah, everybody that would connect it together, So it's just a big slow turning wheel, and we're every day just slowly cranking on it, trying to turn it, man.
Chipping at that wheel.
Yeah, dude.
Given how quickly we were able to raise the money for our little thing, y'all
Actually,
won't have any trouble with it.
Slimmy,
Let me put on a festival.
there's a town close to here called
Nice.
Minden, and what year is this? Year 2?
Yeah, it was year 2. Yeah.
Year 2. And y'all like basically doubled in size over.
Yeah, we shut down half Main Street.
Yeah, which is, dude, for Minden, that's a big deal. So we got some firepower back here, to bring in and
And that was
help.
just because we're like, hey, y'all want to do something for Halloween? And then it just exploded from there. We didn't even plan it. It was just hey, let's do an event.
Mhm.
And then a couple people heard it and they're like, oh, let's turn it into an event.
And
How do you do that?
The whole town was like, "Oh God, this is a good idea."
Yeah,
We're like,
yeah.
I've been trying to tell you this whole time.
wait, we go to these businesses and get sponsors, and this is how it happens?
Because everybody involved in it, or at least all the businesses involved, were like, we really want something like this to happen. We just don't want to do the legwork. And we're just like,
Okay.
we're young and dumb enough to take that.
Yeah. So you made it happen. So, but yeah, dude, I think it's gonna work out. I think it's gonna be really cool.
You got a belief in yourself.
Yeah.
Put that on a t-shirt. Belief in yourself.
Who taught them that?
Belief.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Bequeath yourself.
Yeah. But yeah,
I'll tell you what, my iPhone hates spelling your name. I'm like, it's EI. I know the rule.
I'm for E except after whatever it is.
Leif.
Hey,
Yeah.
either way, works. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right.
I've seen all of it. I've seen LEEF.
I've seen LEAF.
Yeah.
I can see the EAF. I
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah.
With an apostrophe on the F, like make it,
Come on,
make it pop.
come on, guys.
Lefay.
You never heard of Leif Erikson? Go to a history class.
Oh man,
That's
hey,
funny.
Patrick, I meant to ask, where are you originally from?
I guess you'd say Philly. I was
Philly?
born around Philly, and then
Gotcha. Do you still live
and
there?
then no, I'm in Delaware now.
Oh, Delaware.
Delaware.
Yeah,
What was that? In Garth. We're in Delaware.
yeah.
Delaware.
So many Wayne's World.
I don't know. Hey, I never quote Wayne. You're bringing it out of us.
Yeah, that just shows how dated we
Yeah.
are. Because I know every quote from that movie.
I know, dude. It's crazy. My wife's younger. She's 30, and I quote that stuff all the time. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you haven't seen
Yeah.
the movie. Okay.
That's just her problem. I'm 31 and I'm
Yeah, maybe it's just, she's just sheltered is what it is. Yeah.
You know what I can't help is every time somebody says my back hurts, well, I said, well, next you're gonna be fluent landscaping, dude.
Yeah.
I say that every time.
And nobody knows, you know. Yeah. Hey,
Did no one see Happy Gilmore?
yeah, that's all we do. Hey, this is the same thing tracking bands. We'll have bands in here. We're just making movie quotes over talk back, and they're just like,
yeah.
what are y'all talking about?
Well, we did
Yeah.
it so much that we decided we put half a sling blade in a song.
Oh, yeah. Did that get released? Did we release that?
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
What was the name of that?
Adios.
Adios. I don't know if you checked that out. Yeah, we. So it's really funny. A lot of the music that we've released, dude, we recorded the stuff years ago, you know, and we just now are just like, hey, let's mix it and release it or whatever, and you know, it kind of gets out there. You know, we were talking about earlier people not releasing stuff. Well, we're not those people. We're like, sounds good enough.
Yeah.
Kick it out the door. Let's go. But we were working on this song, and I don't know if you listened to it yet, but it's called Adios, and it started with this idea about my stepdad, Chris Greer. And if you ever met my stepdad, I call him my real dad. He's close enough. He's the most like laid back country guy, just like
He likes to party.
he likes to party. He cook a steak in his Crocs, just that dude, you know? So Leif had this idea about writing a song about it, and I started playing this riff, and it became this song, Adios. It was really fun. And we were kind of doing some tweaks on the mix and stuff and putting it all together, fixing to master it. And Leif was like, dude, what if we put some Sling Blade quotes in there? I was like, dude, that sounds crazy. No, it's not.
It works though. We ain't got no fucking band, Randy.
So this music's playing, and I'll find these clips and put it on there, and I'll be damned if it didn't sound cool. I was like, all right.
Modern day poet.
Yeah, it starts out with, he's a tunesmith. It's a modern day poet, or whatever he says.
Yeah.
In the intro. So you have to check it out. And
You tuning son of a bitch.
yeah. So
I think
don't
I've heard
know if
it.
I don't know if there's copyright issues or not. I guess we'll hear about it if there is.
Hey,
Yeah.
if we do, the song's gonna be doing really good.
Yeah.
I think it's sitting at around 50K streams. It hadn't come yet.
Yeah.
If you can get copyright claim, that just means
We're on to something.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's funny. We're talking
Getting
about
that
that.
cease and desist is a badge of honor.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're going for.
That's what we're going for. A lawsuit. That's all I ever wanted was a lawsuit. Come on, guys.
It's too much to ask.
So I'm gonna rip my suit off.
I want somebody to print a story about these guys that got sued for using Sling Blade quotes.
I throw you in contempt. Run. And then there's the belt.
I want to get a phone call from Billy Bob to be like, "What the f, dude? What have y'all done?"
Hey, you know he plays music, right?
Yeah.
Billy Bob and the Boxcars.
The Boxcars. Yeah, I almost said Boxcar Racer. That's a different band.
That's
yeah.
Tom DeLonge's other group.
That's right.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a fun song. You should check it out, dude. It was fun to make.
It's very Southern
I'm pretty
rock.
sure I've heard it.
It's
I
something
was
fun. I don't know if it's fun to play.
Leif would call me and be like, "Bro, we got to do that. You got to do this song." I'd be like, "All right."
All right. Cool. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've done it.
I bounce
if you-
tracks over to him and be like, man, what do you think?
Oh yeah.
How bad is this?
Yeah. What is this lawsuit worthy or not?
Yeah. Does he get the lawsuit stamp of approval?
Yes, it's fun. It's fun. He'll always say, "Be like, don't show anybody this." And I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" And it's just, it's just roughs, and I get roughs, and it's funny. I've never showed anybody, but the one time I was watching the Georgia Thunderbolts, and I was kind of familiar with their name, and I'm like, I can't really remember what they came out. And I'm looking at the guitar player, and he's got a Them Dirty Roses shirt on. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. And they came out and they crushed. And I told him, I said, hey, man, I said, that's a great shirt. And I told him about hanging out with him. And he's like, oh, man, I've been friends with him forever, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I've been meaning to call him to see what he's been up to lately, see what they're cooking in the studio. And I was like, oh, dude, they're doing constantly. Cross Canadian Ragweed. He goes, what? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, he was like, how do you know? And I'm like, I told him the story. He said, "Man, I would love to hear that." And I'm like, "Oh God damn it!" You know, this is at the end of the
Don't
show where
show
I'm like,
anybody. But
and I was like, here, and he was just like, hit the thing. He's like, "Oh hell yeah, dude!"
Dude,
But he was so excited. He's
dude, our buddy
What's
David
that?
Barrett recorded them, the Georgia Thunderbolts.
oh, that was
That was
David.
him. Yeah, it was David. Did
Yeah, man. One of our buddies, actually, one of Leif's buddies, I met through Leif.
first studio I ever worked in, like really worked in. I was with another band that was touring, and Richard Young of the Kentucky Headhunters took us in and produced the album, and David Barrick was the engineer. And I got to know them really well. I've stayed in touch with David for a while, just just shooting the shit, asking questions, because he's got like 40 years of experience. In fact, I saw he was recording Billy Gibbons like yesterday. I was like, that's so badass.
Yeah, I was like, man, I need to go down there and hang out.
Yeah,
That's
no
so
shit.
cool.
And and he told me, he's like, man, dude, you got this cool group in here. He's like, you ever heard of the Georgia Thunderbolts? And I was like, not yet. But when he sent me some tracks, and I was like, holy shit, this is badass, man. They are really good.
yeah. The range
It's like
of his
true
voice.
blues southern rock.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely had that sound. And once again, he was another slide player. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's so hard for me to watch, dude. Like, I shame myself. I have. And they just sort of, you can't play me. I tried. I was like, I don't know, Taylor Honeycutt, Tyler in their band. I just stared, and I'm like, God, it's like nothing but a whole lot of something. It amazes me. You know what I mean? Like just slide like Derek Trucks. How he can make it. He can make that sing.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
that
wild.
soul connection with an instrument. Dude, I get so like when you watch someone play and they're like in that pocket of like their heart and their whole being, and that I'm like, man, every once in a while I can get there, but it takes a lot of like alcohol.
Yeah,
Really.
I totally get it. I totally get it. That that sometimes we'll play a show or something, and it's just, I call it having an off night. Like your fingers are cold, like everything's stiff. The sound's not right. You're just not into it, and you almost feel like half the player that you really are. So I totally get it, man. But I think a lot of those guys, and some people are really just born with it. Like Derek Trucks, I'm not saying, he was a prodigy as soon as he picked it up, but it came pretty easy to him. But, I think about a lot of players like that. They play every day, all day. And, and with me, like producing and stuff, I might play guitar twice a week, So having that muscle memory and freshness is a big thing. Like if you played an hour or two every day, as soon as you picked it up, you're kind of at home again. And your fingers never really lose that fluidity, So I get it.
Well, ever since I started sacrificing lambs, I don't have that problem. Like it just happens.
Yeah, I got to try that.
Obviously, you're eating them.
I mean, yeah. It turns out that's the magic coming out of me.
Believe it or not, Leif uses snacks to everything.
You're off camera spitting up those hairballs.
Yeah.
Hey, look, hey, Kyle, make that a sweater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we really need to make this show really good. How about eating a little more protein, buddy?
Let's up it.
Let's up this.
I'm paleo, brah.
Oh man.
It
Yeah, I
worked for
was joking.
Ozzy
I was
with
like-
the bat.
I told him I wanted to be the first band to ever get a whey protein endorsement.
Oh my God, can't wait.
The first time he said that, I was like, that's funny. And then the more I think about it, I'm like, it's not a bad idea. We got a title belt. Like, keep going.
I mean, I tried to convince him that like we needed to replace the guitar solos with bench press solos live, and he just
we have this running joke in the band. We don't know if it's ever going to happen, but
It's an insurance thing.
yeah, it's an insurance thing. We want to have a segment in the show where there's like this theatrical flaming bench press. Like instead of a guitar solo, it's just a drum roll and like.
And we've got it scienced out. I gotta go with the
Oh, you could put triggers on the bench. So when they
Dude, hey, Dude, that would be really cool. Yeah, that would be really cool.
That's genius.
Also, he could do the flaming guitar thing too.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, is that actually going to happen?
He said, "Well, that's again, it's an
Ladies and gentlemen, we got flaming guitars coming your way. We have the technology, apparently.
Garrett's
Yeah.
gonna come in bright purple Hawaiian
If the fire
shirt,
gets
big
too crazy,
straw
we'll
hat.
put it out with this whey protein.
Hey, it never hurt Greg White.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. We're definitely not doing anything indoors.
Yeah,
Yeah. Dude, I think like 300 people died or something like that.
Dude, man, it's funny.
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
heard about that. I heard about that a long time ago, and
Great white.
Oh my God,
I
that
didn't
video.
realize- yeah, I didn't realize until recently, the past five years or so, like how serious that was.
Yeah.
It was really, really bad.
Oh my God.
Get to that. Was that the same club that Dimebag got shot in?
Was that the same club?
I swear I heard that somewhere, but I can't remember. We never confirmed it. We were like, "Oh, that'd be crazy."
Well, hey,
It's true.
we're never playing
never
there.
fact check.
I don't. If they ask to come play, say no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't want to rip a peck during my bench press. So.
Yes. We had the fire marshal come in with us.
Yeah. Oh man,
That's crazy. I mean, but why not with the Kiss? They got their hands in it, everything. It'd be like Spaceballs, merchandising.
Merchandising. Yes,
The next Shively band.
dude. Yeah, we'll have canned air and everything.
Don't
man.
listen to all the kids, unless you're not a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
I can already see it now. The protein scooper is shaped like a guitar.
Yeah.
Oh, genius. Yeah, genius. See, we're figuring it out right now.
And they say we're not.
Yeah. We're selectively stupid. That's what I say.
Did you know Kiss made coffins?
Yes, dude. Like they were.
One of them, two of them.
Yeah, they were geniuses, man. Funny thing. Speaking about some shameless self promotion here. The red curtains in the studio here are actually from Kiss's tour in like '91. It was one of their big tours. I can't remember. I have to call the guy who gave them to us.
Rob Long.
Yeah, so we have back to these artifacts real quick. We got to talk about this. I got to let it out. the guy who gave us these really cool things for the studio is a close friend of ours. He actually lives here in town. At the time, he was Kiss's tour manager, but now he's with Motley Crue. I think he still works with Kiss a little bit, and he's got his hands in all sorts of stuff. And this was like, I guess we've been at this commercial location for 3 years now, 4 years.
Y'all officially opened in like 2021. So
4
yeah,
years.
2021.
4 year.
So yeah, we're at the 4 year mark. Well, this was like a couple weeks before we officially opened the doors here. Rob calls me. He was like, "Hey man, is the studio open?" I'm like, "Well, not open for business, but you can come check it out." He was like, "Well, I'm out of town right now, but I got some stuff in storage I was wanting to keep there. And, you can have some of it if you want it." I'm like, "Well, cool." I'm thinking like a guitar or two, I don't know, maybe a flight case. Dude, I'll never forget it. I'm up here at the studio. We're still putting sound panels on the walls and stuff. And this 18-wheeler shows up. And, the guy driving is just a driver. He don't know much. He gets out. He's like, "Hey, are you steal records?" I was like, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir." And he was like, "I got some stuff for you." And it's straight out of a movie. He pops the back open, and this 18-wheeler is loaded down with all this stuff that Rob is donating to the studio. But the coolest part about all of it, to me, was in front of all of this, these artifacts. It was Foo Fighters gear that was going to their next show location. So seeing like Dave Grohl's amp is like right back there, and we're pulling all this really cool stuff out to put in the studio. And I'm calling Rob. I'm like, "Dude, like
What?
fuck? Why?" And he was like, "Dude, basically he was like, it's been in storage for 30 years, man. Like it's collecting dust. Just take it." So I was like, "Holy crap, dude!" So we've got some really cool stuff up here, man. We've got some props from Audio Slave's last tour they did. Some really cool stuff. If you're ever in the area, like I said,
He's supposed to come down and play if he'll.
yeah, there you go. You can see it when you come down. Yeah,
we got to find a use for the subs.
yeah, the subs. Yeah, dude, we've got some of Kiss's subs. And dude,
I'll kill somebody if you're next.
Man, they're the size of a truck, dude. They're in the back. I'm scared to turn them on. Yeah,
Well,
they're
what
massive.
they used to do is, how like the live albums weren't really live, the overdubs. They would put them in like a big building with these giant subs, so it sounded like they were in a stadium when the kicks hit.
Yeah,
So it had the reverberation.
It's crazy.
So they had these big custom built subs for recording they used for the live, Kiss Alive.
yeah,
And we've got these somewhere.
dude.
They're
mean,
massive.
they're scary to roll around.
I think they're actually about 36-inch subs. They gotta be.
Hey, dude.
I've never seen anything like it.
There's wild. It's a sight to see, man. It's crazy, dude. It's really crazy. But if you come down and track on some stuff, you'll get to experience it. We might actually turn them on that day. We may not survive, but we're gonna turn them on.
After we do the mortar and the brick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that stuff's coming.
Yeah, might need to reinforce this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
They'll hear an air raid siren before we hit the power button. Like the town has to be evacuated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're calling
like Marty McFly.
They're turning them on.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like that opening scene from Back to the Future with the big ass speaker.
The guitar, yeah.
Dude, that's them. That's them, dude. They're scary looking.
Yeah,
That's crazy. You think it'd be easier just to record a show?
I mean, they were dedicated. You know, I mean, it's crazy, man. Yeah, it's wild.
Well, I think some of it is live, but some of it is overdone.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely polished up and beeped up a bit.
I imagine a kick drum, like the reverberation, you wouldn't be able to get a lot of that. And like, what's a crowd?
No,
with people in it?
Yeah.
No, and depending on what they were doing, I think they were trying to get the slapback echo of like 30 hertz, like 20, 30, 40 hertz, like the real deep stuff. And to capture that live is probably pretty difficult. So I could see why they did it. But
Also,
nonetheless, it was cool.
Also, tech during that time.
Yeah, tech during that time was different too. You know, like these days you can just layer a sample in, but then it's like, man, we get the subs out. We gotta track it.
Yeah, you can pick the exact kick, and you can pick whatever stadium. They have a list of every stadium.
The actual Kiss stadium that they Oh man,
When did Bob Rock would like have like monitors and stuff in there for like Motley Crue and all that?
Yeah, it's wild, man. Listen to those stories about a lot of that stuff, just the way they used to work, and like Patrick, I don't know if you've got into studio stuff, but like I went to school for Pro Tools in 2006, 2005. So my era of growing up was CDs had just started, and I never experienced any tape. I never experienced all the analog stuff, which we do have some analog compressors and preamps and stuff here at the studio, but it's nothing like it was back in the 80s and early 90s. So
everything was rack gear.
Yeah, and I hear stories of people like, oh man, back in Motley Crue, they used to splice the tape, and I couldn't imagine sitting there and just splicing tape all day. I would just,
well, imagine if you missed
terrible.
Right? Yeah.
You messed up the perfect take.
Yeah, you went straight over Nikki Sixx's face. Just man, redo. I couldn't imagine, man. But the budgets were different back then. They actually had big budgets to spend that kind of time in the studio, and I call it the age of tic tac, man. Things have changed. It's the same shit, different bag.
Well, the thing I do hate is people they listen to singles now a lot, and they don't listen to full albums anymore.
Yeah, dude. And there's so many albums, that are in my top 3 or 4, top 5 albums that are meant to be listened to as a collective, like to really get that body of work, and that just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
it's kind of sad.
Yeah, because I'm still going like track number 7.
Yeah, track 7.
Track 7.
It skips a little bit, but track 7. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, back when you had tape, you had to listen to it all. You're just gonna sit there and fast forward. No, you just put it on.
Yeah,
I'm guilty of it. Like with the whole TikTok thing, I try to in my mind keep it fresh by not doing 2 of the same artists in a row. Mm-hmm. And the other day, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put on American Aquarium, listen to the whole album, and it, the whole collective thing. It was following BJ on Instagram. It was I understood his year of his tattoos and the stories. I'm like, wow, it was like a soundtrack to what he's been posting online, and that was really cool of how it's a capture of his life. And like what he said a lot of that is because it's one guy writing the music, and that's one thing. I feel like I regurgitated. It's I listened to Metallica forever, obsessed with them. I was pretty much in a tribute band. We played all their songs, and I can't tell you anything from James Hetfield's life from his music. Other I have to read Metal Edge to know anything, but you can listen to a lot of your guys' music and a lot of the country artists, and kind of get to know them and have a conversation with the song which
Yeah, well,
Kinda like
and that was kind of the
blows
first
my
thing
mind.
that drew me in to like, especially like really getting into like producing country. I mean, I've played. I started out playing bluegrass when I was a kid, like banjo, and that's all. I grew up with my grandparents in the hills of Oklahoma, and it was either Ricky Skaggs or Pop Wills. It was it. And then when I got into high school, my buddy was like, "Dude, you ever heard of Godsmack?" And I remember the first time hearing that, I was like looking around, make sure like my parents weren't around. Yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah. So I remember hearing that stuff, and it just totally changed my world, man. And then I still produce country, but if I had it my way, it'd just be rock all the time. But getting back to the whole country aspect of stuff, people may not like more traditional stuff like the twangier instruments and like pedal steel and stuff like that, like the old George Jones stuff. But if you just like put that aside and just like listen to the stories, it's really amazing. It's really cool to listen to people's stories, to their lyrics, and you can learn a lot about people just by listening to what they've written.
That's why it's so polarizing. It's just because
Yeah.
it lives and dies by sincerity. So whenever you
Right.
the people, when they say they hate country, they hate the stuff that they can tell that's not about anything.
Well,
Yes.
the stuff
Yeah,
that sounds fake,
Exactly.
I think, is what people don't like.
But
Yeah, and I think it's been pigeonholed, into that.
I think it's finally out of that rut.
I think so too.
There's still some vestiges of it. It always will be, but I think as a whole country, I mean, you can see all these other artists pulling off a country like.
Yeah.
I think the honesty aspect is what you're looking for.
Yeah, dude. I think no matter who's listening, whether they like the music or not, can tell if it's honest or not. There's something weird that transcends audio signals. It's like this telepathic thing.
Yeah.
Well, like you believe it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. There's something about it, man.
And also, it's like whenever you're actually telling a story, like when people feel represented by a song or something like that. I can't remember if it was Waylon or Merle that had a guy come up to him well into his career, said that he was like, "Yeah, I used to be a big fan of you, but you got to a point where you stopped singing about my life, and now you're singing about your life, like being a rock star and stuff."
Yeah.
That's where he said, "Yeah, kind of like a shift to realize, like, oh, okay."
Yeah, that makes sense, And it's crazy though, because you're talking about Luke Bryan, like "Country Girl, Shake It For Me" and stuff like that. Like, I mean, at its core, I don't think it's a good song. I don't, but I do think I do get the party element of it and the social element of it. Like,
Yes.
you don't want to listen to Johnny Cash's "Hurt" at a pool party.
Yeah.
You probably want to put on some FGL or something, and I get it. It's easily digestible
to the masses.
Not
To the
every
masses.
song has to be like
Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Well,
sometimes it's just dumb fun. That's
dude,
fine.
well,
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's cool in artists to have a song where it means something. And it's something really. Maybe it's heartbreaking, but also I want songs where people like enjoy themselves and want to have a good time to it too.
Right.
I mean, that's what
Because we're people. Like we're not just sad all the time. We're not always serious. Sometimes like we like to have a good time. Sometimes we're happy.
we are 45% dumb by volume.
Yeah.
So dumb fun by volume.
Yeah, dude. And I think a lot of those bigger mainstream songs like that, I think another reason that people hate them so much is just because you heard them so much, because they were bankrolled to be played on the radio all the time.
1 million times.
Yeah.
So not only do you didn't like the song, but you have to listen to it. It's like, man, screw this.
But give it like 6 years, you'll hear it again. You'll be like, okay.
Man, that wasn't banging.
Why did I hate that?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
God. Man, now that I think about it, when you're talking about the people only doing singles now and doing albums, it also makes you like super conscious as an artist that I'm not saying that this is ever like intentionally the case, but you also cannot have any just weak songs if you're doing it because you're having to release singles for like back. If you had a full album, you're sending out the track list and you're like, this is the song.
Yeah, we need some filler.
Yeah, what comes after that? What song are we sacrificing to this song?
Right.
Once that song's over.
Yeah.
But like some of my favorite songs never became hit songs.
Yeah, that is true.
Like I mean, actually a lot of them. In fact, one of my like weird artists, but Counting Crows had an album. It was called Recovering Satellites. It was not the popular one.
Yeah.
And I love that whole fucking album.
That's what you kind of have to sacrifice. I mean, you may believe that it's amazing.
Drive By Truckers. Great stuff.
He did much.
Like Space City is one of my favorite songs. I love that song.
Man, what a good song, man.
Wish I'd written it.
Yeah, it's so good, man. They have some really good stuff. I mean, there's a lot of B-side material that it's weird. It's not mainstream. You can't push it as a single, but it's like, I don't know. I have so many songs that are my favorite songs that probably no one will ever hear.
Yeah.
And I don't care because they're for me. You know, they're not for anybody.
Maybe that's why it's special.
Yeah, maybe so. You know, so.
Yeah.
But you know, with what we write, and at the end of the day, you know, other artists we produce, like, you really got to be honest with yourself, just not only as a person but as a musician. Like, this is the way I think about it. If everybody likes what you're doing, someone's lying to you. Like that, I'll live by that code. Like, if somebody's lying to you and bullshitting you, because you can either be yourself and create music that everyone likes, or that everyone may or may not like, or you could do the opposite and take the other road, and people end up liking you for music that you tried to appease them with. So whichever road you take, being realistic, being real yourself, or fake, you're always going to have someone who doesn't like what you're doing. So your best option is to be yourself.
Yeah, take connection over crowd size.
Yeah, for sure.
Like your fans, like, it's always nice to have fans where you can do anything. Because
right. Well,
even like huge bands, like, remember when Metallica cut their hair?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
People were like,
yeah.
Dude, that was a big deal.
It's like,
yeah, dude.
yeah. I love
what
how
album
Jerry
was out
Trent
around then? Was that Reload? Load. That was Load.
No, I think it was Load. When Alice in Chains was doing their Unplugged show, and Metallica was sitting up front, and they wrote on the guitar, "Friends don't let friends give each other haircuts." And if you see the crowd in the crowd, they're like, they were like pissed off. If you look, that's what's on the guitar. I was like, oh, dude, that is such a sick burn. But yeah, like, I was in a metal band, and I had, you know, I cut 14 inches off my hair, and they're like, you can't headbang, you can't play with us anymore. I'm like, dude, I got a comb stuck in it. Okay, you know, like, I went out in the ocean.
Yeah,
just like,
well, you know, like, I'd say, like, when we first started releasing stuff, a lot of the music was a lot, I guess, like, softer, probably more folky, maybe.
Yeah, definitely more ballad-esque.
Yeah. And like, that's great. I love that kind of music. I do. But at the same time, like, fuck, you know, maybe I'll randomly pull out the fucking 8-string on this next track.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool.
Nice.
Like, I don't have to do the same thing as we did last time.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think
I
a lot
like
of people
that.
fall into that. I think, you know, you listen to Led Zeppelin, and, you know, you get going to California, and then the next song you hear from them is like Black Dog. It's like, musically, it's not even close to the same thing. But
when the levee breaks.
Yeah, but the fact that it was them doing it, it didn't matter. They could venture out and do. And I think a lot of bands like should do that. They venture out and not get so left field. Doesn't make any sense. But like, try 7-string on it, man. Yeah. Come on, like, it might be cool. You know.
At the end of the day,
It's like,
we don't put ourselves in a genre. They put us into one. So we do whatever we feel like, and then it'll just come.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And that's exactly why I named my son Zeppelin.
yeah, that's true. If you name his kids.
Nice.
Hey, well, I ain't gonna lie. When I was in high school and I was reading Hammer of the Gods, remember that book?
You're like, if I ever have a kid.
Yeah. If I ever have a kid, I'm calling him Zeppelin.
Zeppelin. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
It's like
that's not a joke.
Yeah, it's 100% serious. Yeah.
I love that. But
Zeppelin
it's
Shively.
just like your song "Pretend," and then you listen to "Po Drunk."
There
Entirely
you
two
go.
different-
Yeah.
People have a lot of stuff going on in their lives.
I don't think it sounds like the same thing, but it's not supposed to.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, I write ballads and stuff. I don't want them to sound the same either. I want it to be different. I
Yeah.
want it to be a new thing. you know?
Yeah, and I have to say, this is a little left field talking about this a little bit, but like, from a production standpoint, you know, you listen to a lot of like the Counting Crows,
Recovering Satellites.
I won't say Chasing Satellites, Recovered Satellites, or like Tom Petty's Wildflowers. Like you listen to all these albums that were cohesive. Like and a lot of that was the production. They recorded it pretty much all at the same time. had the same producer, probably the same drum kit for a lot of the majority of the album, and sonically it's cohesive. And today you don't have that because no one's doing full album releases, and if they are recording a full album, for what I've experienced, they'll do it in sections, and have to finance it out to be able to afford to do that many songs. So that those days are kind of over with, having not only a whole album release, but it match up sonically.
Unless you're on a label.
Unless you're on a big label or something like that, then it can still happen. It's just it's become a rarity in the age of TikTok.
Like one of the things I'm really into the new like Steve Wilson Jr. stuff.
Oh yes.
And what I like about it is none of it sounds the same.
Yeah, it's so good, man.
It's phenomenal.
I don't know if you listen to him yet, Patrick, but he's
I've heard a couple of his songs.
Dude, man,
great songwriter, man.
Man, the song "Kid," his song called "Kid," man. The first time I heard that, I was like, I could listen to this again. I listened to it all day, like 12 hours, just like emotionally drained from this song. I'm like, man, this is an incredible song. Holy crap, man.
I love that one. I'm bad with titles, like My Old Man.
I'm
bad with titles, but I love the song. Remember. I've got it in my playlist.
That's a really good one too. Matter of fact, another little shameless plug here. I wish he was here, but our buddy, and he does a lot of things around here. His name's Blake Griffith. He's by default a songwriter. He's written for Lainey Wilson, Tim McGraw, you name it. He's the most humble person. He would never tell you this. We have to brag on him. And anyway,
he would never tell.
So he comes in and helps with a lot of pre-production, and sometimes he'll engineer and stuff like that. He's just a really good guy to have around. The other day, he was he goes to Nashville like once or twice a month to write with his label and stuff, who he's with. And the other day we were sitting around, and I was like, man, I've been listening to this guy. And at the time I couldn't remember his name. I said, Stephen something Jr. And he said, oh, Stephen Wilson Jr.? I said, yeah. He's like, oh, I just wrote with him yesterday. He's a really cool guy. I was like, dude, you wrote with the guy? Like, we got to get him down here, man. So it was really cool.
Well, dude, and it is really strange. Okay, this is a weird story. We hadn't been open very long, and what was it? Him and his buddies, they were out hunting, and and what's his name walked in, and we had no idea who this guy was. He was like the #1 songwriter in Nashville, most hits, I think.
His name is Tom Douglas. He wrote "The House That Built Me" from Miranda Lambert. That's kind of like his biggest.
He's got a bunch of them.
But actually, so it's a funny story. He has a documentary that came out last year, and I still haven't watched it.
It's on Paramount.
Every time I see Blake say, man, you watched that yet? I'm like, no, I haven't. Anyway, it's called, I think it's called Dear Tom.
Is
it Dear Tom? Anyway, it's a documentary about his life and the songs he's written. I haven't watched it yet. I know it's really good.
Oh, You Don't Know Tom.
You Don't Know Tom, yes. So everyone needs to check it out. Even though I myself haven't watched it yet, I know it's probably incredible. It's with his life story. He sold real estate and done a bunch of crazy odd jobs until he was like 44 years old, and he had his first hit when he was 44, and it was Colin Ray's "Little Rock." I don't know if you ever heard that song. It's an old classic country song.
It's a great song.
I bet if you listen to it, Patrick,
you know it.
You would know it. You would know it. It's an incredible song. And so he didn't start his career until he was 44. And, he's probably 65 now.
He's got like over 30 #1s.
Dude,
or something like
he's
that.
wrote all the Lady Antebellum stuff, all sorts of stuff, man. But anyway, he had came down to hunt on Blake's property, and Blake lives like maybe 5 miles from here.
Yeah.
But they just show up at the studio hanging out. I'm
Man,
like,
we don't even know who this guy
in
is.
little old Grand Cane, Louisiana, dude.
Two morons.
Yeah, it was cool, man. It was a really cool day.
That's mind blowing.
Just a pop in.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, dude, it was very surprising. I was like, why is he here?
Yeah, dude.
What's he doing here?
Yeah, well, we've had some really cool things happen here, musically, with known talent. And dude, some of the best moments I've had as a producer have been with people that no one knows about and may never know about.
Well, we've had the pleasure working with CJ Solar here. And
yes,
people don't know that guy's written all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, he wrote Up Down. up, down, up, down. Florida Georgia Line. I don't know if I know you've heard it. If you heard it,
He's got some other big cuts for the.
yeah. If it played, you'd be like, oh yeah, turn that song off. but he came down. He's a really cool dude. But yeah, dude, it's happening here in Grand Cane, man. We're just trying to become the next Muscle Shoals and take the title belt. You know.
Well, we already got the title belt. We're working on the next title belt. We're going from Intercontinental to World Heavyweight.
Yeah. The next step.
Oh, that's funny. Intercontinental.
We're going national, baby.
Hey, wait, what was
Going
that song
back
about?
to the top? Nationwide.
Nationwide, yeah, we're going nationwide, dude.
Does Steel Records have a song, like a theme song? If you had a theme song,
dude,
what's this? What's the recording studios walkout?
Do you remember the song "Let's All Go Down to Dumas Walkers"? We want to redo that.
Kentucky
Let's All Go Down to
Headhunters?
Steel Records.
Oh, all right.
Dude, hey, we're gonna record it and send you a rough of it, but you can't show anybody.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what I said? If any of your buddies ask to listen to it, you let them listen to it.
Yeah. Hey, no, the rough we record is gonna be the master.
Yeah, we're just gonna put it out like a shit.
Yeah, stick it out there.
That's funny.
They're not.
You left the metronome in this thing.
Yeah. Hey, man, somebody's gonna listen to it, man. Listen to that. That's raw.
That's raw, man.
That's raw.
That's what Zach Brown's trying to sound like right there.
It's like a machine, man.
You ain't missed a cowbell yet.
Is that program drums?
Man, I like that thing in the background. What is that? Oh, it's a metronome. I need to take it out.
I just left my click track in there. Oh, dude.
I love that click noise,
dude. We have so many puns that we throw around the studio, just, production puns and stuff, dude. We always talk about drum samples and stuff. And actually, I was in there on the couch earlier. Leif came in. And he was like, oh, hey, dude, I didn't know you were back there. I was like, I was just listening to drum samples, the usual.
Yeah. I was like, of course. Now, his wife walked in, and what did she say one day? She's like, yeah, I get tired of like laying in bed at night and hearing nothing but drum samples. She's like, I can hear that snare sound in my sleep.
I've heard her one time. I don't remember what event we were at. I don't know if it was a dinner or the gala or something. She was like, "Hey, you want to go home and listen to drum samples?"
Yeah, you want to listen to
snares?
Oh, dude, man, and we all do, but like me more so. I'm not a drummer. I can write drum notation, and I'm really good at programming drums and miking drums and engineering, but like I can't play to save my life. I wish I could. So like I live vicariously through other drummers, and a lot of times they're not around, so I just like get into drum samples. And if you've never looked into like drum samples and stuff, they've gotten unreal with it. So like maybe AI pretty soon I'll be able to just be like, hey, make me a drummer.
Well, I keep waiting for the day that she's like, I know what that is. That's a 78 Ludwig snare.
Oh, dude. It's every night, I'll lay in bed at night and just soaking in.
Oh, I know what that is. That's 14-inch hats. That's not the 12.
Yeah.
That was played in an open air venue. Humidity was about 68. It's a little loose.
Yeah.
Slightly warped. I can tell.
Stereo room mics. But yeah, it's a whole rabbit hole with drum samples. It's wild. Hey, anytime you want to call me and do a podcast about drum samples, I'm your guy.
He's your guy. Hey, he was joking one time. He's like, man, we go out to these other studios. I'm gonna have my backpack full of just fucking drums.
This is a trench coat. Open up my drum sample.
What you got? I'm still.
Hey, whatever you're doing, I'm gonna make it sound better.
That's funny. You're like laying in bed like the Big Lebowski. Just listen to the drum samples.
Oh yeah, dude.
All it is snares.
Yeah, dude. I have to say that we can move on from talking about drum samples, but when I first got into being a producer and mixing engineer, really getting into this, everybody frowned upon drum samples. And if you've ever mic'd a real drum set, it's incredibly hard. There's an art to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it takes many years to get to the point where you can make it sound like something impressive, even with samples, because you can have samples, but if you don't know how to use them right, it's going to sound like shit. So for the longest time, I was like, no samples. Nah, I'm gonna rough it out. I'm gonna go down to the salt mines and learn how to do drums myself. No help, And fun fact: the biggest Bruce Springsteen album that had what's the thing?
Born in the USA.
Born in the USA, drum samples, and I'm like, holy crap! I heard it straight from, I think it was Bob Clearmountain's mouth. He was like, yeah, you know, that was a drum sample. It was this new machine that had come out. I'm like, wait. So I keep digging. All of my favorite albums is drum samples. I'm like, holy crap. So now I'm pro drum sample.
Well,
I've got them all, man.
And a lot of it is taking the real and layering it slightly with it. That's like that, because you do want the real resonance.
Yeah, for sure.
But like I said, Kyle does it thoroughly on both ends of it, because he wants both. And one thing he'll tell you, no matter how many samples you want to try to use, you can't replace real brass.
Yeah.
Like the brass is really the one thing that you cannot replace.
Yeah.
Like the hi-hats.
Yeah, it's very
ride, crash.
It's very intricate. And dude, this is a whole nother podcast talking about drumming and stuff. We've been through everything. We've tried e-kits, which are cool. But
great for making a quick demo.
Yeah, quick demo. But a lot of it, you know, you're talking about the whole studio experience. There's a what's the word? A
romance.
Yeah, there's a better word for it. What's that? There's a romance. There's a quote unquote romance of coming to a nice studio, and I want people to not lose that. And it's easily lost if a drummer comes in to record a song.
You're going to play on an E-kit? No.
And it's like, hey, dude, you know, we got this multi-million-dollar facility, but I'm going to throw you on this E-kit back here with these plastic cymbals. And his experience...
and it doesn't feel good.
And his experience is not only ruined, but his creative energy is lost by not playing a real drum set. So I think they have their place for sure. I think eventually they'll come out with something. If I had to guess, with the advancements in AI, I mean, every 6 months, like I want to say it doubles in advancement. So I'm going to say in the next 7 years, they're going to come out with an e-kit that really feels like a drum set, and they've really figured it out. And they've already done it with Fractal. Fractal, call me.
Well, and the thing you really want from the players more than anything is the parts that they come up with, like what they actually play. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest thing, because that's one thing you can't replace. Like, it's if you have a drummer that's skilled enough to play behind the backbeat a little bit and actually play around, if they're good enough to actually play around it on purpose, not just like I'm off.
Right,
That's where the magic is.
Yeah, that's like, man, I don't know if you ever listened to Rick Beato. I think he does some of them. Well, he'll go in and quantize stuff. He actually quantized when the levee breaks, and it ruined it. Like there's a timing where he's playing behind it just a little bit, and it gives it this chug.
It's a push-pull.
Yeah, and when he lined it up, it sounded like a drum machine. Like, it totally lost it.
Oh, dude,
it was wild.
Worst thing ever is to listen when they time align the drums to Hot for Teacher, Van Halen.
Oh.
Holy shit.
I didn't listen to that one.
Dude, without the feel, it's shit.
Total drum machine.
Like, dude, it's horrible. It's
man.
Like, not even listenable.
Yeah. Oh, I believe it.
Alex had some magic back there.
Yeah, he was very underrated.
Dude, he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Dude. He's Eddie Van Halen's brother. Dude's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody in that band was like top tier.
Oh, yeah, dude. Michael Anthony's harmonies, holy shit.
Yeah.
Great bass player.
And rightfully so. I mean, they were a lot of that was overshadowed by Eddie. But if you were to mute Eddie and just listen to them as a band, it's like, holy shit, man.
Well, dude, Eddie's rhythm parts are underrated. Those are fucking tight.
He was really, really good.
They made it so big with a 3-piece.
Yeah. And a lot of that was the production too. They would mic up his cab, and there was a bunch of different ways they did it. But if you listen, especially with headphones on, Eddie is always panned to the left, and all of his effects, like his reverb and echoes, the wetness of it is panned slightly to the right. So you get the stereo width of two guitars, but it's just one. And the way Eddie plays, he fills everything up naturally just with his parts. And everybody chases that sound, and it's like, man,
And some of it's the way he picks, how it's aggressive. It's like articulation.
Yeah. And I was kind of a late bloomer with Eddie, because me growing up, I was really into, like David Gilmour and stuff like that. And I liked Van Halen, but I didn't really understand how great Eddie was until I was probably like 20, 21. And I just remember kind of going down that rabbit hole, and I'm like, guys, have you ever heard of Eddie Van Halen? Like, this guy's incredible.
Have you ever heard of Jesus? Everybody get it live.
Yeah. So it's wild,
Ever
man.
heard of Jesus?
Yeah. My favorite, the top 2 solos that he's ever done, and he's done a lot of good stuff. Jump, of course. Jump was an incredible solo.
That's a great solo.
Especially when it goes into that, it's not an augmented chord. I don't know if it's a modulation. I think it is a modulation. He plays into the modulation at the very end of it. It's really, really cool. But they've got this B-side. It's called So This Is Love.
I love that song.
That guitar solo to me is the best thing he's ever done.
It's not my favorite. I tell you what, Mean Streets is up there for me.
Yeah, that is bad.
I love Mean Streets. Pound Cake.
Yeah.
Fucking dude.
Yeah.
Pound Cake is a badass track. Black and Blue.
Somebody get a phone call. It eats up battery, but yeah, we're back. We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Yeah.
Nothing ever happened.
Cool.
Yeah, nothing happened. No freaking out. We're good.
No technical difficulties here.
Just don't
Yeah.
let the room kind of shift.
Steel Records, we will never lose your take. Ever.
Yeah. We had to plug the phone in, so now we're shifted. So if we look awkward,
Yeah.
just let us know. We'll move.
Yeah,
Did
it's
it look
fine.
weird?
I think we're all right.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
It's not as good side.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't remember what we're talking about before we got bumped off.
Van Halen.
Oh yeah, we're talking about Van
Van
Halen. Yeah, all that stuff was so good. Yeah, and I was a late bloomer with Eddie, getting into that, and I was that kid. I was like, guys, you never heard of Van Halen? Like, he's incredible. You heard of this guy? Like, he should be famous. Like
Holy shit.
Yeah,
man.
dude, my favorite solo of his is Feelin'. I love the album Balance, and a lot of people, they're always like, that's not a Van Halen record, but from like a guitar tone perspective, like that, don't what is it? Don't Talk About Love, that jing, 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 jing,
Yeah.
dude, you can eat that tone.
Dude, you can, man. It is.
I
dude.
loved it, man.
It's a 4-course meal. It's good.
Yeah. And he goes, it sounds like a freight train.
Yeah.
He did a lot of cool like little things in songs, and it's like it's a blip, but you're like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the feeling, he does this thing where like he's like pushing the strings into the pickups,
Yeah.
giving it like a clunking sound.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he did that before, like Tom Morello, but yeah, I love that. There's just the tone wise, like I liked how he went from like being like the MVP baseball player to being like the manager, getting into the gear, because everybody wanted to sound like him, and he was like, well, all right, here we go. Here's the tools. I remember when some of those amplifiers came out. They still have debates to this day, like what era was the best
Van Halen
tone. Of the 5150s, and it's like, man, these were copies of his plexis that he would attenuate down. And Reinhold Bogner, you've heard of Bogner amps, the creator, he was Eddie's tech at the time, who made that sound happen for him. And then he moved and started Bogner, his own amplifier company, which is legendary now. But he was the original guy who figured that out for him, and figured out how to sag like the voltage on his amplifiers to give it that spongy brown sound. Yeah. And then the 5150s came out and stuff like that. And I think we had a 5150 up here at the studio.
We had a 5150 block letter.
Yeah,
It was one of the block letters, like the nice ones.
Yeah, and it was badass. But then we got the Fractal, it was something good.
Yeah.
Dude, we still have a bunch of tube amps.
We have a shit ton of tube.
Yeah, and they're great. A lot of people are like, man, tube amps, dude. I'm like, up here in our world, our tube fee yearly was like $1,500. I'm like, how?
Yeah, because we could
just not, and just use the Fractal.
Dude, me and Kyle, this was sometime like maybe 2 years ago. We went through and retubed every tube amp, and I think our bill was around. It was over $1,500.
Wow.
I remember because I had to drop all the fucking amps off the shop.
It was enough to hurt, man.
I was like, man, how do tubes cost this fucking much?
Yeah, dude, it's wild, man. But
and they're not the same. Like they say, like the dies wear out, so they're not all cut the same.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get bad tubes, and like you gotta bias them. And dude, my thing is like I had that sound, I had it. I loved it. And then it was like 8 months. You get a little crackle, little microphonic.
Yep.
And you're like, man, I'm going to bring that magic back. And you go to like wherever you get your tubes online and you replace them and you turn the amp back on and it's not the same amp.
No, and especially all the eras that they made amplifiers, quality control's gotten better, but
it doesn't mean those amps sound good with those new tubes.
No, and
Yeah.
you know, a lot of the eras of Plexis every year was different, even though it was the same model. The quality control was lower.
Well, sometimes they couldn't put the same resistors they put in this amp or the same capacitors, so the parts were frequently changing because sometimes like demand they couldn't get them.
Yeah.
So that's why these amps change, and they'll be like, man, the 73 to the 74 sounded great. The 75 sounds like shit or whatever.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah, and some people have a 75 that might have had a different batch of capacitors or whatever, and it's like, no, man, 75 is where it's at, and it's just a bunch of confusion, you know.
Yeah.
Or like the reason like some of the older amps before they went to PC boards, they sound different than the ones that were hardwired amps.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
Like too many things have changed.
Yeah. But you know, we moved over into the modeling world just for consistency. I had a guy send me a track. This was a while back. It's probably 2 or 3 years ago, and it was a AC30 and a Tele, and it was a SM57 and a Royer 121 ribbon mic on it. It's like that's become like the classic ultimate combo for mic and a guitar amp. And I'm listening to it, and I'm like, man, like that sounds incredible. He was like, yeah, that was a Fractal. I was like, okay. I'm sitting here. That was the ultimate blind test for me because it was one of the best AC30 teletones I've ever heard. Well, and the part was cool. He was playing that. It had a lot to do with it.
Well, to be fair, until recently though, with the IRs when they got driven, they were never quite as good.
Yeah. IR. I don't know if you've got into that world. Impulse response. Impulse responses. They've improved drastically. We actually just upgraded some of our devices to. There's a company called Tone Factor. They're out of Nashville, small company, just started up like a year ago. I don't know, they're not telling people how they've done it, but they're creating these new, they're called XR IRs. XR stands for extra real. And I listened to it and I was like, damn, that sounds really, really good. Let me try them out. And sure enough, dude, I can't tell a difference between that and a real mic cabinet. So if there is a difference and I can't hear it, that's good enough for me. No one else is going to hear it.
Well, it was really weird because used to with the old IRs, like if you listen to where it was at like its stock preset, it would sound fine.
Mm-hmm.
But when you like put drive in front of it, it would fall apart. It wouldn't be like the same.
Yeah.
Like, it would just it would never drive like a real amp. Couldn't do it. But those IRs, I don't know what the hell they're doing now. But they interact like that.
Yeah, so
they don't fall apart.
If you're doing some modeling stuff, I would definitely check out those IRs. Like, because it's the first time I've played something that I was like inspired by. Not just like, hey, that sounds pretty good, but to the point where it was like, man, this makes me want to play. They're definitely worth checking out.
And this is coming from people that have bought every fucking amp known to man.
Yeah, man. You know, I've owned 2 Rocks. You name it, man. Everything but a Dumble. You know, the Dumble Strokes.
I gotta punch myself.
Yeah. But yeah, they're definitely worth checking out, man. They're really, really good. So yeah, if you got some modeling stuff, check them out. And I have no doubt you'll be into them.
Yeah, because they make those IRs compatible with whatever you're using, Helix, anything.
They're like $20-$30. Definitely worth it. It's definitely
dude. And what's really cool is like people can come in and they can track with you, and they can leave with a USB drive of that exact tone and sound, and take that and replicate it everywhere they go.
Yep.
From bedroom to stage. That's what I love. Like, you don't have to worry about, just like combo amps are great. Yeah, they push air, but they make like stuff like Friedman and whatnot. They make those FRs that push air at you, and then it's like you're gonna have in-ears in anyway.
Right.
But
yeah, dude. So what we've got into, I like pushing air live. I like filling up the stage volume a little bit just for people who are close to the stage, but the way I can get feedback, and even if it's not feedback on some sustained notes, it'll grab it a little bit. And I want a live cab not mic'd. So what we've been doing is taking our units, and we'll have our direct to PA sound with the IR. Then we bypass the IR and run it through a power amp, or you can run it through an effects loop, the send of an amplifier, and you're only using that amplifier to push that non-IR tone through your own cabinet. It's great, man. I can't complain. I love it.
Yeah, they make power amps like that that pair with the Fractal. I forget what they're called.
Well,
I see people running stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where you get both best of both worlds. You can push it through a power amp section with tubes just for that feel.
I believe when them Dirty Roses they ran their stuff through a Helix. What they were using.
Yeah, they ran a Helix, and what I did with it, I took their presets. It sounded really good, but I captured only their DIs. And sometimes on some of those tracks, I either ran it back through a real amp or I ran it through a different preset on a Fractal or something. Just because when you're in here and things are chaotic, you listen to it back sometimes later after the session. Like, man, I wish we'd used a Fender instead of a Marshall for that sound. And it's great because you can today. You can reamp stuff. It's wild.
It's amazing.
It's amazing, man. It really is.
It's one of those possibilities.
You pull up the software and you just.
Yeah.
And you can do it live in the mix, and you're like, "Ooh, who would have thought that would have sounded good?" And then boom. That's one of my favorite things is, like when you get a new amp pack or something, because now like if everybody does a sale where you can have 300 amp rigs, and you get your DI, you just put it in, and you can just find a new. It's amazing. Like,
it is, man. It's really cool. And most people are on board with it. I think there's some diehard people that are not. Some people are like, man, it's cheating. It's like, if you keep running with that logic, the pickups you're using are cheating because it's amplifying the signal for you. You should be doing that yourself. Like, to me, it's just convenience, and staying inspired and in the zone. I'm here for it.
It's about being creative. You want to do new things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I want to do the same thing every time?
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds good.
It is good.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. It's funny on the flip side of the coin. I've heard people either in the studio or live have $5,000-$6,000 tube set up that sounds like shit. Just because they have it dialed in wrong, or the sound man's got 8K cranked all the way up because he bumped it trying to drink his beer. There's so many variables to it, and so you can still have great stuff, and there can be user error that occurs. So
enough harshness to make them ears bleed.
Yeah, put some hair in your chest.
God, it was harsh.
That's funny.
I'm here for it, man.
Makes your brain hurt. It's so harsh.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, dude, I mean, really, we could turn this whole podcast into just a gear talk. Like, I feel like that's where it went. Which I am.
Every time Leif calls me,
what they want. Yeah.
It was either Fractal or wrestling. Take your pick.
You take your pick.
Yeah, that's like every time Leif calls me, it's something like one week we talked for like 2.5 hours about Splon amps.
Yeah.
Dude,
that fucking hot rod amp is badass.
You have a quick ride? Yeah, they got it in the Fractal. It's badass.
Dude, like it's funny is it's really cool. Like Dylan Wheeler's his guitar player Brock. I'm like, dude, I love that tone you have. And he goes, get a quad Cortex, I'll give it to you. And I love that. It's like trading baseball cards.
Yeah. It's like, did you say Pokemon cards?
Well, baseball.
Hey, close enough.
I'm like,
get them all.
That is extremely easy. It's like, that's a really good tone. Can I have that? Right now?
Yeah.
Hey, $5.
Here you go. It's on your drive.
That's like people are like, man, your tone's spot on for. I did a Treaty Oak on how to play a Treaty Oak song, and he's like, really like that tone. I was like, well, if you have a Kemper, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
I says, give me your email. I'll just shoot it right over.
It's yours, buddy.
Yeah, I love that. It's cool, especially like if you know the artist and you can get access to something like that is like mind blowing. Like I remember it's kind of like frowned upon, but like the first time I saw Shane Smith and the Saints, I was like, I got to take a picture of this dude's pedal board. So I'm like over the balcony, like.
You talking about Dustin? I think my buddy.
Yeah,
Dustin
Sunshine.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, dude.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, we were building a Sweetwater cart. He's like, hey man, you got to get this add the cart. You got to get this add the cart. I'm like, dude, I thank you. You know, I'm like, I'm gonna be poor, but
worth it, man. It's worth it.
Yeah, dude, it is cool. You just literally just send. Like I forget, I put a post on Facebook about, man, I really wish that I could get a better tone playing these Red Dirt songs, and like people's music that I loved listening to. They sent me. He said, "This is exactly what we used," and I was like, "Well, there's no excuse to never not sound like that."
For bad tone and your vibe, you know, it's wild.
It's cool.
You got two tickets to Tone Paradise.
Yeah, that's right. Left and right.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper.
Yeah.
2 tickets to Paradise.
Also lowers the barrier of entry. People trying to get into it where you don't have to buy like thousands and thousands to try to get what you think is the right tone. And,
yeah, man. Oh, dude.
Because I know for sure whenever I started out, I mean, all I had to go off of was the 80s and 90s legends and whatnot. So it was like, yeah, they got thousands of dollars worth of gear. And I'm like, I got a Line 6 Spider.
Hey, what do you think about that?
And that was good enough last weekend.
On the insane setting.
Insane mode.
Dude.
Hey, they partnered with Bogner. I had one of them.
They did.
The Spider Bogner.
Was it the Alchemist or something like that?
I forget what it was called.
I think they took all the Line 6 guts and ran it through. I think it was just. I don't know. I don't think it had power tubes. I think it was just a preamp section of Bogner's designs, and it turned into that. And I thought it was really cool what they did. I don't know if they're still making them. I have no idea. Probably since they quit. I have no idea. But
yeah, I sold mine and it blew up on the guy.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I work with him, so it's like, God, this is never going away.
Remember that piece of junk you sold me that one time, motherfucker?
Hey, he's gonna listen to this podcast and bring it back up. You're gonna hear from him tomorrow.
Dude, I've only had one amp actually like explode and catch on fire, and that was like a crate voodoo. I was like, what's that spell? I'm not cooking anything. I look over and the wall is just like getting black.
Dude,
and I was like, oh man.
Dude, was it a 150? I think my buddy had one in his apartment one time, and the cops got called on us because it was so loud. It was a crate. It was a voodoo.
It was a crate, and it had these little orange things for like the chorus and some. It made no sense. Yeah.
Did yours light up when you turned it on?
Yup. I think that's what it was called, like a blue voodoo or something, and it illuminated, but it was loud as hell,
dude.
And it blew up.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why I quit making them. It was dangerous. It was too loud.
Hey, dude, one of my first amps. It was a cheapo. It was a PV Bandit 112 solid state.
Dude, those things are still.
I've had one.
Man. Those things can't die.
Yeah,
they weigh 5 million pounds. They weigh more than a half stack. And it's 112,
dude.
That chorus.
That's one amp Fractal.
It was like made out of rock. Like you touch it, it was like. What was that texture? What was the point of that?
I don't know, dude. And it's fun. The whole PV saga is such a crazy.
Why is everything so fucking heavy?
Dude, we had a client come in. Last year. I'll never forget it. This is like one of those moments in history.
What was it called? It was a PV.
He brought in some guitars. He was like, man, I've had these for a long time. And he had some old like original 80s tellies and stuff. And he opens up this case and he unleashes this weapon. It looked like a battle axe, and it was a PV. I think it was a T50 or something.
It was the copy. It was their version of a copy of a telly. And this motherfucker must have weighed 500 pounds. And you picked it up. I was like, what is this made of?
Dude, I had to sit down and play. Like it was. I've never seen something
like
so.
Cast from a neutron star.
Dude,
It was Thor's hammer.
oh,
Man.
dude, Les Paul ain't got shit on this.
Dude, it's so funny. We still talk about that guitar at the studio. We're like, man, if we had that guitar up here, like, we ain't got to worry about criminals or anything. Dude.
Yeah, you just fucking wrap into that.
And get back to playing riffs, you know?
Dude, I want to know what kind of wood it's made of because I shit you not.
It's
That
not.
is
It's
the
made out of Thor's
heaviest
hammer.
thing I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, I'll never
Like
forget.
it's like
man.
3 Les Pauls in one.
Yeah, dude, and it was the ugliest guitar.
It's ugly.
And it was crazy, man. And you thought it had sustain for days, but it didn't. It sounded like cardboard. You know, it wasn't meant to sound good. It had one purpose, and that was to whoop ass.
Yeah. Well, either that or to give you a backache.
Yeah.
You know, that just tells a story. I mean, it weighs 1,000 pounds. It ain't easy to look at, but come last call, that's all you can look at.
I make it one to see if it makes my deadlifts go up.
Yeah, dude. I'm pretty sure the model of it was a T50, and I think they had some other versions of it, but I'll never forget that guitar. Now I'm thinking about it, I'm probably going to text that guy and see if he still got it.
Oh, he does. It's Randy. Randy still got that sumbitch.
Yeah, he keeps it by his front door for invaders.
Yeah.
Hey, where's that battle axe, Randy?
That's
Yeah.
like the tunesmith.
Yeah,
Modern
dude.
day poet.
I'll bring
I'll
it
never
over
forget
after my hernia surgery.
No, it was so
Yeah.
funny. For some reason, all their shit, cabinets, you name it. It felt like,
Yeah.
hey, but you know what? I will say this about a PV. You never see a PV break for shit.
Dude, I've never
Yeah.
known one to break. Yeah.
I think you could take that PV Bandit, throw it in the ocean, pull it out, and
Dude,
some bitch still work.
You know that's why they don't have customer support numbers. They don't need it.
They don't need it. Yeah, there are no customer support numbers. If you broke that son of a bitch, it better have been on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't their fault.
In fact, they're calling you, asking you how you did it.
Yeah.
How did you do it? How did you break this fucking thing?
That's funny.
Hey, this would be a great promo for PVs. If they're
Yeah.
watching, send us some T50s.
Yeah.
Yeah, 250. That's
I
a
bet shipping would be extravagant. But
Yeah, security systems.
yeah.
that's an original that you can't see it. It's a PB 5150 4x12 with those Sheffields in them.
Sheffields.
Oh yeah.
They will not blow up. I have given them every opportunity. They will not blow. I've blown speakers. They still. I run a.
You know the true test is going to be plugging that blue voodoo up to it.
Yeah. Hey, dude, I go ahead and tell you, a meteorite could hit, and that PV's still gonna fucking be there, buddy.
I'm telling you, man.
Dude, hey, if there's anything left on this planet, it'll be fucking PV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
juggernauts,
use mine
man.
for like scaffolding. Just
I'll be honest with you, I want to know what a house would be like made out of fucking PV wood.
PV. The house
That
of
son of a bitch
PV
would
built.
stand the test of time.
Oh man.
They got flying buttresses inside.
Yeah.
It would be here 2 centuries later.
Yeah,
Well, at least Rob.
that's funny. I had a bandit.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're not lying.
We ought to do this. I want to do a survey for all musicians. Tell me a piece of PV equipment
That you've owned.
that was like 10 years ago and beyond. Tell me if it ever broke. Because if you can find one, I want to know what you did.
Yeah. We're gonna do some studies on it.
Yeah. But that's probably the real, whatever they're doing with that stuff, that's probably the real trick to living forever.
Hey, a matter of fact, I think those Kiss subs we were talking
The
about.
fountain of life.
The Toyota Helix.
So, like,
Yeah,
really,
but
Indiana Jones, what he was really
Ponce
looking
de
for.
Leon. That's what PV is short for. Ponce de Leon. They found that the fountain. It will never die. But that's like Eddie Van Halen. He said, "All right, let's test this," and he turned all the dials up to 10. Just put the guitar down and started feedback, and they left it like that all weekend. And they opened the door. It was still. And he goes, "Well,
Hey,
good to go."
Hey, they probably never turned it up. Probably just left it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
it's still
doing
ringing.
it now.
Yeah, they locked the doors and it's still going.
They're still conducting research.
Yeah. Improving their products even further.
The only time it goes off is when the power goes out.
Yeah, right. No, it still stays on.
It probably still stays on. There's a capacitor that held so much charge.
It gives back to the grid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives power.
You actually make money. Oh, it mines Bitcoin too.
But dude, you know what? I'm saying that Peavy should have made fucking computers.
Yeah, I know, man.
My gosh.
Screw Apple, man.
My,
Took over.
yeah, you buy one fucking Peavy computer, you never buy another.
Oh man,
Oh, that's funny.
No updates needed. Oh my god.
Oh man, but yeah, hey Patrick, man, we'd love to have you come down and track on some stuff.
Yeah,
just bring that blue voodoo with you.
Yeah.
Hell, and then, hey, I tell you what, if you can ever get to those the trio guys, that would be badass.
Yeah, man.
Along with Dexter and them.
Yeah, and tell Cody and everybody, dude. We're still doing it, and it's one of those things that it's been like rounding up chickens, and we're still doing it, and our day to day up here, we have other projects, so it's not our main thing we focus on. So it's really slow going. Even if it was the only thing we were focusing on, getting people rounded up in here, it's difficult, but it's very real, and we're doing it.
But honestly, I'd say 1 to 2 songs were.
Yeah, we're really close to being done with it. You go into projects like that, you're like, oh, it's going to be this, but it actually turns into something else, maybe even cooler, And what we've got so far, with the acts that we have on the lineup, man, it's really, really cool. We've got the iconic song 17 still on the roster. I've talked to a lot of different artists about doing it. A lot of people have reached out. I actually reached out to Co, because how cool would that be, dude?
Yeah.
Co Wetzel to do that song. And I don't know Co. I don't. The only person I know is Mason, the bass player, and I reached out to him a little bit. He said Co might be interested, and I'm not gonna beg for something like that. I just put it out there, and if they want to be a part of it, I would love for them to be a part. I think it'd be really cool.
Well, I always think of his song "She Misses Ragweed" like I do, and I know him being from Texas and
exactly, and I think it would be, in my opinion, a very, very smart move for Co to do something like 17, because everybody would eat that up, because it's such an amazing song.
I love that song.
But I get it. I could see Co being like, oh man, it's too on the nose. I don't want to do it. That's fine with me. That's cool. Either way. But in my opinion, I think it would be a really great thing if he ever did that song. So I've been holding out, on that song, just because it's their most popular song, in my opinion. Yeah. But that's not to say there might be somebody else who fits the bill as well. So we've been talking to a bunch of different people and just making it happen, man. I think it's going to be really cool, because they really inspired me as a young artist and guitar player growing up. In all the bands I played in, everybody had ragweed tunes they played. It was just in your DNA.
Well, there were there were some big points in life. The first one is Skinnerd, and then the next movement was Cross Canadian Ragweed.
Yeah,
for me.
Yeah, for me too.
Because it was at that time in my life. That was what it was all about.
Yeah, I mean, they were, and still are. They were quote unquote gods to me. They started all that, and they were iconic, doing that tribute album was, like I said, something that we thought of before they were even trying to get back together. This happened later, and one of my it was such a double-edged sword. So I was like, oh, dude, that's awesome to get back together. This is incredible. But now people are thinking I'm only doing this because they're getting back together, but that wasn't the fact. And but we
got date stamps.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I told Leif, I said, Leif, you want me to go public with this to try to get more people on it? So I got that status,
Yeah.
It is funny because, like I said, for the longest, I would always say Cody Canada, and I never really said Cross Canadian Ragweed because he said we're never doing it again, and I'm happy for people. You know what I mean? I've seen how people love their music. I have very late came into it, but you just hear it and you're just like, man, I always say, it still has that rockin' edge, and you get something from it. That song 17, you're like, dude, that's anytime I go back to where I grew up, my mom always say, remember who you are when you're there. I'm like, and just that's, and you hear that song, you're like, dude, it's simple, but
It's real.
dude, and it's so crazy.
so,
Not only
it is.
not only is it an incredible song in itself, but Cody's vocals, the way he delivers, just as a vocalist in general, it's so believable because he's so, I think he's very authentic, and I think it kind of speaks through the music. But there's kind of a double thing with that because I can remember hearing 17 when I was 17 now, and every time I hear that song, I'm like, I'm 17 again.
It's back to that. It takes you back to that time in your life.
Yeah, dude.
And I think that's why people hold that so close to their heart.
And really, you know, I think about that. I think about someone like Code Wetzel doing that song, and I'm like, that could happen to this new generation if Code did this song now. Like, these people in 20 years will listen to what Code did with 17 now. And it would be that. I think it would just be really cool, man.
And in a whole nother way, I feel like Code started a whole new movement.
He did. He totally did.
Like,
at the beginning of the podcast, we were talking about the grunge rock thing.
Yeah, he flipped it on its head.
Yeah. I think it was really cool. I think some of his newer stuff, he kind of got back to the rootsier stuff. But
it's all great.
Yeah, it's all great, man. I really do think he kind of turned a channel in the whole Red Dirt country scene.
It was a new flavor, a new thing.
Yeah. I'm here for it, man. A lot of people don't like it, and that's the way it's going to be.
Some people
that was like when Merle and them came out, and Waylon and they were doing kind of the edgier stuff. They caught a lot of hate for it, you know. But they flipped a dial and turned it to a new channel.
They're legends now, but they weren't. Maybe looked like legends then.
Yeah, they were assholes.
Yeah, they're like, what are these guys doing?
Right.
Messing up my country music. Yeah,
that's right.
Co came out here to the Northeast, so I got to see him. The first time I saw him, that was wild. That was cool. I got to get like all the backstory. I was standing with Kat Hasty, and she was telling me about the songs, and it was really cool. Like, she's a huge fan as well. And then they came out here, and I got to see Co like four times with Treaty Oak and Dylan Wheeler, and I was there for that wild. I don't know if you saw the Washington D.C. highlights where like they just trashed the place. They had these hard cups. It was a 3-story venue, and people. I mean, they had like a head stapling station for people.
Oh,
that were getting hit in the head. It was like, and they go right back. I was like, dude, this is wild. It was. I was talking. Sam was on the podcast. I said, Sam, what's been the wildest tour? And he just smiled. He said, the one you were at. You know what I'm talking about. I'm like, yeah.
It's all your fault.
And he's like, and like he was like, dude, my family was there. And he was like, I'm trying to tell him like, no. This isn't. You know, I'm
normal. I swear.
Yeah, it was nuts, man.
Oh,
I was just like, thank God, because I had to change. Oh yeah, just like a Treaty Oak DC. I was up at the rail, and then for some reason in my head, of just maybe it was just like a feeling like I've been to a bunch of like hardcore shows, and it was just like, leave the rail, you know, like like some of those shows they call it the wall of death, you know. And I was like, why don't we stand over here? And thank God. But that was a wild time. But yeah, I saw them like 5 times last year. Steve was just with Sam just the other day. He was hanging out with him. He sent a picture. He was backstage. I was like, oh, so jealous.
That's cool.
But yeah, dude, that would be cool to hear Co Wetzel sing that song. And like you said,
man, I you know, that would really be the cherry on top of the album. And only because of his song, you know, Ragweed. That to me has become a recent staple in Texas country music, in my opinion. So I think he's the perfect candidate for it. And you know, if you don't want to do it or just don't give a shit about it, that's cool too. But I think it would be the best choice. But I am talking to a lot of other people who could potentially do it. I'm just kind of waiting and seeing what happens, man. It's been a wild ride.
I'll have to do a video and tell people to tag Co Wetzel to cover the song 17.
He should, man. Like, everybody wants it. He doesn't know it yet, but everybody
with Steel Records.
Come on, man. Let's go.
Yeah. Everybody tag Co Wetzel if you want to see him on the Cross Canadian Ragweed tribute album 17. The cherry on top. It's pretty much Co Wetzel's. It's his future.
It's his destiny.
It is destiny.
It's his destiny.
He doesn't know it yet, but it's his destiny.
Hell, I'll even lose the wrestling match for the beer.
Yeah, right.
I'll throw it.
2 bears, 1 cooler.
2 bears, 1 ice chest.
But yeah, and hey, if you got some other guys that might be interested in it, we've kind of curated it, and it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, well, you're not popular enough to be part of this. I'm trying to make it to where it's like, hey, you as an artist really fit doing this. I'm not going to have James Hetfield sing 17. As cool as it would be,
that'd be great.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. So I'm really trying to place this to where it's like, man, this artist sounds really good doing this song, and this one sounds really good with this, and make it to where when people listening to it, they enjoy the song as a cover from that artist, where it hits them as like, this feels like an original song from this artist because I believe it. It matches with their style.
Like, I get it.
Exactly.
That thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been difficult, man. It really has, but we're getting there. We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. I like that. Like feel over fame.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there's actually a couple of artists on it that you probably never even heard of, but they really fit with the bill. For
Like Wyatt Putnam.
Yeah, Wyatt, dude,
Sounds phenomenal.
Yeah, he's
and
doing.
he does one of my favorite tracks.
Yeah. I'm running on low sleep. I can't remember the name of the song.
It's got
It's Sick and Tired.
Sick and Tired.
Sick and Tired, which was a great song. Well, I actually met this guy playing a show with Brian Martin, making full circle here. Brian Martin played a homecoming show in Logansport down here, I think last year. And we were going down there to meet with Brian to talk about doing some stuff in the studio.
He was doing this, yeah.
Yeah. And his opener was a guy named Wyatt Putnam. And I'm listening to this kid just tear it up, And I'm like, holy crap, man. He's got such a cool voice. And we're bullshitting. I'm like, dude, you would sound really good doing Sick and Tired. And he was like, dude, let's go. And it was like the next morning, he tracked vocals for it. I'll send you the rough. Don't show it to anybody. But
No, show it to everybody.
Check it out. And I was actually just talking to him the other day. We're trying to find this is another shout out that we can.
There's one other thing we wanted to find the right female for it.
Yes, so we really wanted to get Leanne Womack to sing. I'm not shitting you.
That would be awesome. But
To sing backgrounds on the song, and we know a lot of female artists, but we just haven't found the right person to do it. And if you go listen to the original track, there's a female back there, and I'm pretty sure it is Leanne Womack. If not, it sounds just like her. I could be wrong. I think it is Leanne. But anyway, we're trying to find someone to do that, and that will complete his track. So if you know of any great singers who would sound good singing the background vocals for Sick and Tired, tag them, and let's rock and roll.
Yeah. I know a bunch of people, a bunch of female artists that are really great.
Yeah, awesome. Let's round them up, man. Let's herd these chickens up and get it done.
Yeah. And I know I know a lot of them. They already know about this project.
Awesome. Yeah. And like I said, dude, it's just been a slow turning wheel because like our day to day with producing and engineering and working, it's not something that we wake up in the morning and like, all right, all day today, we're going to try to round these chickens up and get this album going.
This was a start of something that we just wanted to always loved to do.
It's just something we wanted to do, and it became bigger than what we thought it would be. And here we are. And Ragweed's back together, and the universe is right.
Yeah, everything's good again.
Yeah. So, but we're excited about all of it, dude.
Yeah. So am I. I'm gonna see it in its entirety as well, because that was like the first time like somebody asked me, was like, "Hey, can you help us like put together some music?" And I was like, oh, "Hell yeah."
Dude, so I'm the guy. Let's go.
You were a godsend, by the way.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we really appreciate your help, man. And we're huge fans of what you're doing, and I'm glad that we know you.
Not only that, but he's helped out so many of our friends and guys that record with us. Through Country versus Metal by like putting their songs out there. Like you have no idea how many artists that you've helped. I mean,
yeah.
You play a lot of Copperhead Jones stuff, who's a good buddy of ours too.
Yeah. Patrick, before I ever met you, I knew of the legend of you. Because from the artists I was working with, they were like, dude, you got to check this out. And I'm like, country versus metal? I don't even know what this is about, but I'm in. Like, I love country and I love metal. Let's go. And so, yeah, I've been a fan since day one, man.
Yeah, dude. And I still like Florida Man. That's on my list. I still got to do that. I got to meet him. He's just a cool guy, man.
He is. Very cool. Yeah.
Hey, I will say this. If you ever get a chance, check out our new song, Drive.
Yeah, I was listening to it today, and I was like, "How did I miss this?" Because normally you'd call me and be like, "Yo, by the way."
Oh, I wasn't. I was like, well, no, sometimes I was like, man, I don't bother him all the time. You know?
Yeah, dude. I forgot we released that, dude. Man, we get so busy with stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, did we release that one or not? Yeah, we did. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we love making music. Because the reason we started going out and playing was only because the music kind of made that happen. If that makes any sense, we were putting out stuff originally just to get people who like, hey, let us know, hey, we got a studio, we can make sounds, we can do stuff like this, and so we make different types of songs, and just stuff we come up with, and just to try to almost like a business card,
Yeah.
And obviously we love to play and do that stuff, and it's just kind of happening on its own.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like because we've always kind of jammed together and stuff, and it was kind of like the after hours things. Like when we weren't producing or doing something, I'd be banging on a riff and I'd just record it. Then all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, it's like a full song, and then that's what gets released. That's pretty much how it's went. It's just we never really have a day where it's like, all right,
we're doing
Monday at 9:00. We're gonna have a writing session. It's more like, hey, dude, I got this riff, listen to it. Then he's like, hey, I got this vocal line, let's track it. And then over the course of a couple weeks, they just hatch like little eggs. Well, it had nothing to do with it. It just happens, It's cool.
Yeah, I call it fucking off.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's the best term that you could use there. But it's fun, man. It's crazy. It's not something we ever really tried to do. It just kind of happened naturally,
Yeah.
And it also allows us to try things that we don't feel comfortable putting on a record for somebody yet, or doing something new.
Yeah.
I'd rather experiment on something of mine than fuck somebody else.
Yeah. It's like, all right, we're gonna mic the drum set and the ceiling today. So
because we've come up with some pretty random ideas.
Yeah, so it's been kind of our test, our lab goat, just to go in there and have fun with it and see what we can come up with, because it's all about experimenting. But we've learned a lot of stuff from it. A lot of bad things, but a lot of good things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We learned a lot of bad shit.
Yeah, we've learned more what not to do, which I guess that's just as good as learning what to do. So yeah, it's a win-win both sides of the coin.
Yeah. It's got to be fun.
It is. It's like watching two monkeys slowly figure out how to make a fire.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Pretty much. But and it's cool, man. And I love doing this. I love being a producer. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of scheduling people and making sure. A lot of times you got to be Dr. Phil. It's like an artist is like, man, I don't like my vocal because I have insecurity issues and is it good? And you have to be a coach to these people and be like, hey man,
be honest.
This sucks. Or hey dude, this is incredible. You really need someone to tell you if in your opinion, if it's good or not. And I don't feel like there's enough of those people out there. I think people have gotten so sensitive, and there's a way to talk to people and be like, hey man, this drum part, I like what you're doing with it, but I think if we'd done this and this, it would be a lot better. Let's try a couple different angles at it and really iron the wrinkles out. It's all in how you talk.
And sometimes those things converge. It's not the idea that you can put out. It becomes something different, but it's the one that needed to be there.
Exactly.
Just because of trying shit out.
Yeah, exactly. And for me as a producer, the worst thing I could do is be like, hey man, that sounds great. Next. Because my name goes on it. And people pick up on that. How come every time I do something, he loves it? This guy's full of shit.
Yeah. Dude. And that's horrible. if you think about it, I think to be successful recording music, you have to want to make it the best it can possibly be, no matter what. Because eventually that's going to go out into the world and people are going to listen to it and they're going to go, where the fuck was that recorded?
Yeah, I'm
That sucks. Not going there.
Not calling that good.
But if you do something great and they overhear it, I think that's the best business card you'll ever get. Because if they're successful with it, you'll be successful.
Yeah. And, you know, at the end of the day, not everything you do is going to turn into gold. Because, you know, I look at some of my favorite producers and it's like, man, sometimes they do some stuff that's like they're not fully excited about, or it's not the strongest project they've ever done. But I think as long as every time you're faced with a scenario where it's like, hey man, does this suck or is this good? As long as you give a shit, it doesn't matter if it goes platinum or not. The artists and people you're working with are going to see that genuineness in you and be like, man, you know, we didn't have a super hit here, but he made it the best he can make it. And like, I really like working with that guy. And at the end of the day, that's all it's about.
Well, and like one of the sad part is you can have somebody that comes in with a phenomenal song and it's absolutely amazing and it ends up sounding incredible. But then on the other side, marketing has to work out for them.
Yes.
Or they have to have, like, say, the funds to push it to radio. And some of these guys that are getting real radio pushing, they're paying $10,000 a track.
Mm-hmm. Bankrolling
it. And, like, some people cannot do that. They may be the best artist you've ever met.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe the most incredible person you've ever met. But the difference of that marketing structure, like, that is usually one of the biggest killers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Because you can... To make great music, that's hard enough, but the next obstacle is getting it heard.
Yeah, for sure. And to put kind of the cherry on top with all that is work ethic on the artist side. Like that is a huge thing. Because man, I know so many incredible musicians,
phenomenal,
and even in this area that are just lazy. There's no way to sugarcoat it. They're lazy. They don't try to promote themselves. And I get it. It can be weird getting on a freaking cell phone and be like, hey guys, check out my new single. It's the way it is.
Well,
you know,
and I get it because like nobody wants to go. This is what I ate for lunch today. This is what the because like one of the things I do hate is like I was a big fan of, like the '70s and stuff. Like those guys were like, I mean, Hendrix, Zeppelin, any of those guys. They were like gods to me because I didn't know them as people.
You didn't know anything about it,
and it was like shrouded in mystery.
Yeah,
all I knew is I liked these songs.
Yeah,
and I'd make up these things in my mind like I wonder what this is about.
Yeah, I bet this guy's a god. He's got his own kingdom and like all these servants.
Yes. So all I'm imagining is Jimmy Page in his castle, writing these fucking amazing riffs, and he's got his double neck. Yeah. And he's in there just playing away, and it's like just popping out with Heartbreaker and shit. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And he's not even a human. He's just at the studio and on stage. He doesn't have a life. Because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, he doesn't have kids.
Yeah, he don't know about it.
Like either that, or if he is not doing that, he's having orgies. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Just like the ultimate rock star. But in reality, I mean, I'm sure a lot of those things happen, but like you don't see their day to day like you do now. And like the mystery, it's like, oh, John Fogerty, he's in a hotel. He just had a BLT for lunch. That's cool. It ruins it for me.
Yeah, like, I don't want to see them as people.
It's cheap. Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Well, like, dude, I like, no offense, but I don't want to know Clark Kent. I want to know Superman.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I guess that's one of the things I miss about some of the older stuff, because also it would make you want to like you listen to the songs closer. You'd be like, that's how you would try to get to know them as listening.
Yeah, exactly.
You weren't. Finding out that they broke up with Taylor Swift next week, or whatever,
or they're at the football game and whatever. It's too much. You see too much of their live, and but it's just the way it is. It's the way it is now. There's nothing we can really do about it.
Yep, and I tell Kyle all the time, I really do miss the CD era. And the only reason for me is just because, well, first of all, Kyle's going to think I'm crazy. Everybody's going to think I'm crazy, but I swear to God, CDs sound better.
I think there is something to that, for sure.
And some of it is the settings within your Spotify playback.
Yes.
But oddly enough, you ever notice this, even after you change them, if you go to YouTube Music and listen to YouTube Music, their music app, sounds 10 times better.
It does, and it's not a loudness thing.
It's not loudness. It's
if you match the levels.
It's a clarity.
It's weird. It's almost like they are like Spotify advertises it at 16-bit, and I think with the lossless, I think they might bump it up to 24, but it really sounds like 12-bit. Like I think they're lying to us.
Call me crazy, but well, then why is it when we do the comparisons?
Yeah, I know, dude. It really is night and day. If you ever have the time, really listen to it. There's a massive difference. A massive difference.
Even after you change back all your, like, you can go change all your settings. Yeah. I've done it, and I've tried to. I'll be straight up.
It's different.
It's different.
It's different. But yeah. But back to what I was saying about the work ethic thing. Like, there's a ton of musicians around here who are just phenomenal that you'll never hear of, and it's their fault. But everyone has their own definition of success. But I see a lot of these musicians, and they want to really be on stage and really do that. I don't think it's a lack of wanting to, but the work ethic and the laziness. They don't want to take the time to go out and network. They don't want to take the time to call people. They don't want to take the time to make videos and promote, what their new single. And I get it; it's difficult. But if you want something that bad, you're gonna do it.
Well, it's hard
to figure it out.
It's hard to connect the artist and the business.
Yes. Oh, totally. I think I'm not saying we're the smartest people, but we looked out in the business mind sense and saw where that gap was. And I think a lot of musicians, I think it's a combination of things, but and I get it. I would rather just sit around and just play guitar all day. I don't have to worry about paying bills. I don't worry about making money, making network connections to progress my career. I get that. But if you really want to be that guy and do that for a living, there's no way around it. You have to learn that aspect of it. Yeah. And it sucks because it's ever changing in today's tic-tac.
Yeah.
and even with that, you're still going to face challenges that you're hard.
Yeah, and with artists who we have come through here, every day we're trying to surround ourselves with teams of people that can help us help these artists with blueprints of like, hey, all right, dude, we've got this kick-ass album or EP or single that we did, and this is your blueprint you need to follow right now to get this heard and live your dreams, and it's even with that blueprint, it's difficult, especially when you factor in work ethic and just bad luck sometimes.
Well,
that happens too.
Well, like I was watching a deal. Like there have been artists that their song's been out for 2 or 3 years. It was a great song, but it wasn't until they got with some kind of content creator that made the video interesting enough to watch for people to fucking listen.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if it wasn't watched so much in the first 3 or 4 seconds or whatever, then it goes down, and it doesn't mean that song's not the greatest song in the world.
Yeah.
It means that you had to be a content creator, and that does suck.
It does, man.
Yeah.
It does.
Because I was listening to this guy, and he was right, but it's a sad truth. Now, I think for a lot of those artists that are really trying to do that, they have to create the music around the content, not the other way around, and that's sad.
It is.
It is.
I almost feel like there needs to just be a big reset button for the whole thing. Go back. Not go as far back as splicing tape, but at least get away from the way it is now. But that's the fairy tale. It's just not the way it is.
Yeah, the box is open.
Yeah, man. The box is open, and the only thing you can do is just try to work through the labyrinth the best way you can. But it's a hard work. But that's with anything worth doing. Like, it's nothing great ever came easy. Unless you won the lottery. True. But how often is that going to happen?
And like anything, if you really love something, if you really love it, you're going to have to put up with some shit and really force your way through it.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true. So I always, what we just told you, and I'm just speaking for any artists who may be listening to this. Like, anytime I work with someone new, and even people that we have worked with, I tell them that same spill. Like us as producers, dude, we can give you the best baseball bat known to mankind, but like if you don't go out there and swing it and really practice and sometimes luck out and hit a home run, You know, that's not on us, but we're setting you up for success the best way we can.
Like, just to give an example, we went to a conference the other weekend to try to learn more about how to help artists outside. Because, like, here's the deal. Like, you spend these time with these people, you end up liking them. You end up becoming friends with them, even though you probably shouldn't. It's stupid for you to do that. But I'm kidding. But you end up becoming friends with them. You end up liking them. And, like, so, like, you want to see these people succeed more than anything. And then at this point, you're like, well, Kyle, maybe we should go to this conference and like try to figure out how to like find entertainment lawyers for these people, or like how to like find somebody that helps them like do social media ads or whatever, like to help them get further their career. Because like you want to see them succeed, because if they succeed, you're succeeding.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And like, and this hadn't been the case. This is more of a smaller case I've seen. Out of all the artists we worked with, say out of 300 people, I've had maybe 2 or 3 that they don't come back because they either gave up or they're not, I don't want to say they're lazy, but they're not hitting the right buttons. And since they're not seeing progress either monetarily through money and financially, or with their actual career path, with getting bigger shows or getting bigger venues or meeting the right people, they don't come back because it's kind of like they're pushing this rock uphill and it's just coming back on them, you know. So every day we're trying to surround ourselves with people that help push that rock, because it helps everybody. Because
so
I want everybody to win.
Because like I wish I was friends with some big A&R rep that could be like, hey man, hey, check this stuff out, and it make their career. But that's just in today's outfit, that just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Today, if you're not on that social media, if you're not big on social media, then you don't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad but true, man.
It's frustrating.
It is, and a lot of the other bands, they don't have to do those things because they already have a fan base from before this time, and everyone's organically already there, so they really don't need to do any. They don't have to push that rock up the hill.
Somebody brought this up. Like, there are less new artists breaking than ever. In fact, most of the acts that are still going big and strong are legacy acts.
Mm-hmm.
And we have more legacy acts now than any other time in the industry.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because used to, like, back in the 70s, 80s, the bands would fall out of character and there'd be a new generation that would come up. That's not happening anymore like that. And that is one of the things that I really do hate. Because, I mean, think about it. You had a run of people in the 70s, run of the 80s, 90s. Every time there was a new generation. Mm-hmm. But now, who's the top selling band right now? Fucking Creed. Which, no offense, think they're a great band. But Creed. Say that to yourself.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild.
Do you know, like, okay, like, that's mind blowing. Think about that. They were the highest grossing rock band of the year, $64.5 billion this year.
Creed, dude.
Had their the highest gross they've ever had in their career.
Like, they're at their peak now. And like, look at the other top acts. Metallica. How long have they been doing this?
Mm-hmm. Like, God, forever.
And if you keep looking at it, if you keep going through all the acts, the biggest ones are legacy acts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's wild to think
about. And I mean, that's great for them and all, but that's part of the problem of today. Mm-hmm. Here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah. That's wild to think about. How those legacies like stick, but all the newer artists.
Well,
besides Taylor Swift.
Well,
she's kind of a legacy.
Also, another big thing of it, I think, was people buying those CDs and listening to them over and over and connecting with that time in their life, and it being this.
Yeah. It's almost like a kind of a spillover effect of people who listened to those albums back then, like, and are still listening to it. Like, it's kind of rolled over. Like,
I still listen to an Alice in Chains album, and I still see myself in my little Chevy truck with my little tin in the back, listening to Wood.
Yeah.
And I still like remember the first time hearing, and being like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, dude. Was
And
that
you could touch
Check
it.
the Roof?
Oh,
You could
dude.
physically grab it and look at the album art and
I
open it
know.
up.
I know, dude. Like that was such, man, that was so cool.
Yeah, because I used to like take the album art. I'd like read through and like see who was on it and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
oh, that was so badass. And it was a totally different. It was a totally different thing. And like, what was even cool is like I loved how wild music videos were back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, well they had a budget too, so it's kind of out there.
Yeah, man. It's
Remember the first time you ever saw Black Old Sun, the music video?
With the eyes.
Dude, I actually, it was on TV the other day for something. I remember watching. I was like, man, this shit's still cool.
Still fucking cool, man. Still cool.
Yeah.
But like I can still see that stuff, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and it's imprinted. But you know, it's funny. The stuff now, it's like just in and out.
Yeah, just quick, man. They just TikTok, dude. It's instant gratification. And the shitty thing is, there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to ride the train, and hopefully it veers off to a better way.
Well, and also, like I said, keep on improving, try to figure out ways to help.
Yeah, for sure. But no, it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next decade, especially with AI getting involved and stuff. It's really funny. I've had so much work come in from and this is really cool. Yeah, I think you'll find this interesting. You've heard of Suno, haven't you? Suno Music, the AI music websites. You can go in.
No.
Oh, dude, you need to do a special just on this. Like it's wild, man.
You
go to a website. You go to a website and you type in your lyrics and you tell AI, "Hey, I want this. I want this."
The right prompts.
You prompt it, and it creates a song for you, a done song, and it sounds incredible. Like it's mind blowing. But the more you listen to it, you can kind of pick apart things that are AI.
The sound fucked up.
Some artifacts, little things like that, and it'll get better. It'll improve. In the next 5 years, it'll be unimaginably, exponentially way better. I know it will, and it's really cool. And a lot of people, a lot of producers, or just people in general, music fans are like, "AI's going to take over, man," and like we're going to have self-producing robots, blah 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 blah. I've had more music this year sent to me as AI tracks that we're cutting as real tracks.
Yeah, like they want it redone.
They want it
with
redone
real musicians.
With real musicians. Doesn't that blow your mind?
Yeah,
like, that is wild to me.
Well, because I guess it gives them an ability to have, like, say maybe you're not the world's greatest instrumentalist, but maybe you're a great songwriter. It gives you some kind of thing to try to give an idea of what
it's almost like AI
a blueprint.
It's almost like AI is acting as an interpreter, or
for them.
For them, as kind of like this idea bot, and it's like, hey, this is roughly what I like, what AI did, and I'll take it. I'll go in and use stem separation and pull out some parts I like that I know will end up part wise keeping. Everything gets redone. Everything
gets replayed with real stuff.
If there's any AI ideas, even a drum beat that I think is cool, it gets redone and it becomes a totally new song. And you can be like, well, AI wrote that. Well, it's like, well, technically the artist prompted AI to do this, and you have infinite prompts. So they sit here in their own time for hours, probably going through different versions and telling it to do different things until it got close enough that they sent me this track and was like, okay, this is close. I think it's a powerful tool. I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, not all the time you can get 5 guys together and lay something down.
Oh, that's very true. Although I will say, I'm glad Kyle has embraced this. There's a part of me that I can't.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I could see, and this will be my last thoughts on the AI thing. I could see in the next 8 to 10 years, because Elon Musk is already rolling out robots that cook in your kitchen. Now, that's coming. There's no stopping this. We're gonna have, just like in the movies, Terminators. Like it's a real thing. I think it's really gonna happen. So we're gonna have these robots and stuff who have such deep learning. It's crazy. They can do anything. They could even produce an album for you if you wanted. But with all the AI marketing companies and all these tech companies, they're pushing this to people and trying to sell it. It doesn't mean we want it. I think right now it's cool and people dabble with it it's like, hey, I can get on Suno AI and make a song. I think it's fun. I don't think it's long lasting. I don't think market wise there's going to be a demand for it like a robot producer, because if you could just click a button and then the song's done, it has robbed you of all creativity. And the coolest part about it's the process of being creative. And I don't think us as a human entity, we want that. I don't think it's going to stick. I think it will be possible that we can do that, but it won't become a thing that's just like, go, they took our jobs.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, just being real, personally, I don't want to see a hologram performing on stage.
Yeah, that's a whole other aspect.
And like, I don't know if, I'm sure AI will advance and make some great melodies, a lot of stuff, but I don't think a mind like a Derek Trucks will ever be replaced.
No,
exactly.
No,
like, who goes to Chuck E. Cheese for the band?
Like I said, I don't think that human aspect can ever go away. Of course. Then again, I'm me.
No, and hey, if it does get to that point, I want to be old, dead, and gone anyway. So we can leave that to the next generation.
Hey, baby, we know Steve does have a 3D printed ankle.
Oh, that's true, man.
Terminator.
He's one step away from Terminator.
Hey, Steve, don't feel bad. I've got an iron rod from here to here in my shoulder after I shattered my collarbone.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm part metal.
Yeah, man, we're slowly transitioning.
Yeah. I just wish this thing made me like stronger, better at something.
Yeah,
you could like breach a door.
Yeah, I start ramming shit.
I was built for this.
I bet you can break a peewee with that shoulder though.
Oh, yeah. Hey, let me tell you something. Hey, it would break my whole body before it broke that fucking peewee.
Yeah. Hey, he tells everybody he got in a mountain biking accident. But what happened? He got hit with that T50 PV.
That's what happened.
He broke into Randy's house and he got hit on the side with that guitar and it took him out. Man.
No, if that would have happened, I'd be dead in the ground.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
The battering ram.
Fucking walking around. No human could survive that shot.
Oh, straight battle axe, man.
This ain't no shit. The unrealistic expectations of grabbing that thing and picking it up are like, what is it?
Yeah, you think the case is still closed. You're like, oh.
What the fuck is in here? This can't be a guitar.
Man. But yeah, Patrick, man, I really enjoy you inviting us on the show, and hopefully everybody got a kick out of our shenanigans.
Oh, yeah. Definitely going to have you back on.
Yeah, I think they got some of the stupidest takes they've ever had in their lives.
Yeah, just edit out the dumb shit, man.
Yeah, would you like to hear about our drum sample collection?
Yeah. Hey, on the next episode, I'll show you the trench coat with all my hard drives in it.
The fly-by-night drum samples.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah.
See what you like?
Yeah. And dude, I'd love to have him come down and track on some stuff and hell, show you around the museum.
Hell yeah. Dude,
well, dude, you travel down to Texas a decent bit, dude. We're right across the border.
Yeah,
I know.
Like, we're in North Louisiana. Like we're 3 hours from Dallas.
Yeah, like
that's
really,
not far at all.
The Texas line from the studio is
15.
Less. It's like 12 minutes.
12 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, walk up that back door for 12 minutes, you'd be in Texas. I mean, we're right there. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to come down.
Awesome. Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah, we can take you around and show us our hard drives.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I look forward to it.
Heck yeah.
I may even get that PV down here and let you pick it up.
Yeah. Hey, Patrick.
Better put your weightlifting
when you
belt
come
on.
down, the only guitar you can track on is that T50, man. That's the only.
Dude, he's gonna walk out feeling like Arnold Schwarzenegger by the time it's done.
Hey, which would go into our next podcast about our new whey protein.
Yeah.
Hey, it worked for Patrick.
Hey, yeah. Check out our. Yeah.
Look at me.
Hey, yeah. Buy our whey protein
Beefcake.
and our PV T50s. The perfect weight training tool.
Like the shake weight, but it's a T50.
Yeah. Hey, play guitar and get in shape at the same time.
Oh God. Oh, we laugh at this, but it could really sell.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what my profile says? My profile actually says inventor of the shake weight.
Hey, it's fixing to be the shake weight T50. Oh man.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Hey, we're only dumber in person, so get ready.
Yeah, how the hell did we ever start a business?
I don't know, man.
I got to tell you this story because Kyle's one of the most intelligent people I know that I've ever met. Really mean that.
He don't know many people.
But oh yeah, I don't know anybody else, by the way. Okay, so down the road from the studio, there's a bank, right? My wife says, she's like, hey, take this check down here to get deposit, getting all this stuff together for, the building we just bought, right? So me and Kyle walking down, trickling down the road. Kyle's a little bit in front of me, and I see him take a right. He's like, knocks on the door. He's like, ain't nobody fucking here, man. What's the deal? And like, literally on the window, it says like something oilfield services. And I'm like, oh shit, we're going into business together with this guy.
Man, I mean, he's not as smart as I thought. No, the actual bank was to the left of that.
Yeah, like literally, it's got a big giant sign.
But in my defense, that used to be the original Grand Cane Bank, but it had been repurposed as an oil field building. So
it was so funny watching him knock on the fucking door.
I was pissed too. I was like, man, we're gonna be late on this payment. Like, shit.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was so great.
So we walked next door and everything was all right. But I never lived down.
Well, I'm sorry, it was too funny. I will never forget that. And to give you a little leeway, I will say this: we've probably been working in this sumbitch like stupid amount of hours.
Man, that's a whole nother podcast. Getting this place together, man. It was a restaurant when we bought the place. And it's a federal historic building. It was built in 1911, I think.
We're historic.
Yeah, so we're prehistoric. It was a general store back in the olden times. Back in the horse and carriage. And throughout the years, it's been many things. And the past 5 owners, it's been a restaurant. So when we got it, it was a restaurant. And dude, the amount of work it took to get stoves and ice makers out of here. Oh my god!
Oh, what was that?
It was the hardest part about it.
Oh yeah, the fire system, getting that shit out.
Yeah. So
my god,
we had a big it's a vent hood. It's an exhaust hood.
It's like a $20,000 vent. We're talking about massive.
Dude, ain't just, hey man, me and my buddy's gonna get it out of here.
You need a crew.
Yeah,
like
dude.
20 people.
Man, getting that thing out of here was like, oh man. It was, if I would have known how much work it was before we got this place.
We'd never done this shit.
We would have never, ever done it.
Ever.
And like, there were so many things that were supposed to go a certain way, but didn't. At one point in time, me and Leif were in here with the electricity off. We had to have it off because we had to change all the lights out in here.
We were wiring up all the light harnesses.
Yeah, these lights right up here. Dude.
And like, so we've got the little flashlights on our heads,
You know Zoolander when he's walking through the cave?
Yeah.
That was us.
That was us.
Yeah.
And I remember like me and Kyle were looking at you, like, man, I was like, we really fucked up, didn't we?
Dude,
and all we could do was laugh. It was like one of those sad, like, this is sad that
like we're going to die, but let's laugh about it.
Yeah, that's all we could do.
Yeah, dude, I'll never forget, man. We're in here and like it's pitch black, and all we have are headlamps, and Leif's up on the scaffold, and I'm trying to hold it.
Oh yeah, by the way, the scaffold's fucking rotten.
Yeah,
that weighed what, like 270 pounds?
Really, I should have been up there. But anyway, yeah. So we're trying to get all this shit going, and I just remember looking at each other and just laughing, like we're fucking doomed, man. What have we done? But hey, there's a whole backstory to that. We're not going to name any names, but it was a lot of work that went into it. Man.
It wasn't supposed to be done by us.
Yeah.
I can leave it at that, but yeah.
Yeah, dude, a lot of curveballs that happen. But hey, we dodged the punches and
we persevered.
Yeah, hey, we still got a couple more lights to put up, but you can at least see in here.
You tell me, dude, we're not putting more fucking lights up. Actually, I put one too many lights up.
Yeah, maybe so, because we ended up dimming this place down a lot. It's funny, people come in here and they're like, man, turn the lights down. I'm trying to track vocals. They want it dark.
We'll set the mood.
Yeah.
So we put a dimmer in some bitch.
Yeah, so it's definitely moody.
Yeah, and every day, like for like the first like 2 years, I thought to myself, please, I hope you hook those wires up right.
Yeah, I would
Fire's coming.
No, I think we've done it correctly. And dude, it's funny. We haven't replaced these lights yet, and they're still kicking, man.
You ever seen Office Space? And he's like, I'm gonna burn this son of a bitch. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
That's my stapler.
But no, it's a cool
That's
spot.
my stapler.
It's a cool spot, and we had artists come in yesterday. It was yesterday, day before yesterday.
It was Sunday.
It was Sunday. Never been here. Never worked with them. And it was a mutual project. And these people come in, and not to sound egotistical or talk up the studio, but they loved it. And everybody who comes to, they're like, man, this feels so creative being here. And to me, that's the biggest compliment you can give me, besides my drum samples. That's the most important thing. Well, is that, like, you feel comfortable.
Well, like, even being
it's got mojo.
Even going to like some of the most expensive, like the biggest studios in the world, they do feel like a dentist office when you're there.
I've been in them.
And it's not cool. Like it doesn't feel like, I guess, a creative home, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
And getting people comfortable, and like, that's a big deal, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I think I speak for everybody. I don't know of any studio I'd want to go work at where I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel inspired. I think it's a huge deal, and
also having the engineer going, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Bounce that down.
That was the top.
Yeah, and I think that's a big deal. Because we have a lot of artists come in and they're like, wait, so like we can explore my vocal idea I have for this verse. You're not going to tell me what to do. It's like, no, go for it.
Let's try some.
But I want to be honest with you if I think it's good or not. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah, the common thing is explore the space.
Yeah. Just like Bruce Dickinson, man.
Yeah, explore the space.
I have to say, sad fact, we do not have a cowbell in this place.
I was going to say.
We don't. Hey, when you come down, hey, bring that T50 and bring that cowbell.
Yeah.
We need a cowbell in here. I can't believe we don't have one.
I'd be willing to bet if you swing that thing loud enough, it sounds like.
Do anything. Oh, man. But yeah, we'd love to have you down here, man. I think it'd be really cool.
The pots are probably so big, they probably sound like a bell if they move.
I'm using it with the drumstick.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. God, no one's going to know what the fuck we're talking about, are they?
Hey, they're going to know we're having a good time. Hey, they'll probably have a good time, too.
That's funny.
All I'm imagining now is massive pots and a guitar. Yeah, like just massive fucking...
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Patrick will do it, but I'm sure he'll go in and pick the best shitty parts and keep those, It's gonna be funny. Some editing.
It's gonna funny. He's gonna have like 3 hours of recording time. It's gonna be 20 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
About 20 usable seconds.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, man. Shit. Well, I tell you what. Hell, what else do you want to talk about?
Man, I think I'm about talked out. I think I've talked there. I've talked about my drum samples. I've talked about my AI. I talked about my Fractal. I'm good.
Yeah.
I've done everything I wanted to do.
I guess one last note, 'cause we never talk about our music. What are some interesting things that you would like to point out that we do?
Like musically?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of riffs that happen inside the music that need to come back. I feel like people got away from riffs, and not even guitar riffs. I'm mainly talking about guitar riffs, but like
repeaters.
Yeah, just like really
hooks.
really cool lines and just parts that are in a song that really, if you muted the vocal and you just listen to the music,
you still love it.
You would still like it.
Yeah.
And having that complements a vocal at the same time, to me, is the ultimate. I think some of my favorite songs that happens, and it's like the missing piece when they link up for like really cool musical parts and a vocal that they marry together. To me, that's where it's at.
Well, like what would Michael Jackson's "Beat It" be without? But
it would be nothing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just as iconic as the vocal.
Yeah, I even without him singing, like the melody is.
Yeah,
I'm
it's infectious, man. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not everybody's gonna like what you're doing, but like the stuff that we do, it's like at the end of the day, it's like something that we want to listen to. So it's like us as musicians, if we like it, surely a lot of other musicians are gonna like it too.
Yeah.
It may not be their favorite thing, but they're at least gonna hear it and be like, man, I'm not a fan of the song, but like I really like the verse, that piano part they did, or that kazoo they had, or whatever. They can at least respect it for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know what
this
you
is
mean.
basically what happens if two nerdy guitarists decided to start a studio.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But yeah, and all the songs that we've made, I don't know. Does every one of them have a guitar solo?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Every song has a guitar solo. Actually,
Yeah.
sometimes, yeah. Harmony solos, yeah, we got a lot of those.
Yeah, I think the newest one, Drive, it has
It has a miniature solo.
it's kind of a movement. It's kind of a riff. It's not much of a solo. It's just a cool sounding part. So
That's probably the only. I mean, it's still a solo, but I guess.
yeah, technically.
We've
yeah.
never actually done a song with us. Actually, we did. We did one.
Which one? Pretend.
Pretend technically does not
Pretend.
solo.
But hey, that was an acoustic track, so
Yeah.
yeah. But I am playing pedal steel through the whole thing, so to me it's kind of
Yeah.
I'm soloing the whole time anyway.
Yeah, it's like a solo for the entire thing.
You're right. Yeah, when in doubt, solo it out.
Well,
Yeah.
in the words of Steel, always put a solo in.
Yeah.
That's not always true.
More is always more.
You know
Yeah.
who said that? Ingve Malmsteen.
Oh God, yeah.
Dude, I'll never forget watching that interview, and he was so
Serious.
He believed what he was saying. He was like, "How can less be more? More is always more." It's like, man, we can't argue with that logic.
I mean, technically, logically, that is correct.
Yeah. Which makes sense when you hear him play.
It sounds so good when he says it in a Swedish accent.
Yeah.
How can
Yeah.
this-
It makes you want to shred.
I'm just like, fuck it. Let's do it.
I'm going back to the basics, sleeping arpeggios, man.
Dude, okay, one of the funniest things I got to point out that always made me laugh. Does anybody remember Michelangelo Balto?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember
Yeah.
he's got the double neck guitar doing this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll give you the keys to the Lamborghini.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Dude, the funniest fucking thing to me. Like, I used to die laughing. He named, it was one of his songs, and he named it Hands Without Shadows.
Dude, I remember seeing that. I was like, what?
When I saw it, I was like, that is the greatest fucking name I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, man. Dude, and it's so funny, man. It's so campy, and like, part of me, and he's super talented. Part of me makes me wonder if he knows it's campy and that's just his thing.
It's a shtick.
Or if he's really like serious about it. I don't know. I do know he's talented though.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Hey, dude. Okay, another guy. I love him. He's actually played some great stuff. Steve Ba. Have you seen him where he like brought out? He calls it. What is it? It's called that weird monstrosity of a guitar thing he's got.
Oh,
Oh man.
It's called the Hydra.
The Hydra.
I never would have got that.
Dude, when you
Yes.
watch the video, it's the most hilarious fucking thing. While super talented,
Dude,
he puts on a fucking blindfold like Karate Kid style, and he's got this like, and he's over here doing this like he's shredding and shit, and I'm just like, that's really cool. But did we need to?
I mean, I get it. I get
It is
the
impressive.
theatrics. I get what he's trying to sell.
It works.
And I get why people would enjoy seeing that at a show. I get it.
You know what?
Like,
You know what he always reminded me of? He reminds me of a magician
yes,
playing guitar.
I think so, man.
David Blaine.
Yes.
Oh, it disappeared.
Why did I play this blindfolded?
Even his movements, like,
Yeah, he's like,
yeah,
Oh, like when he's like
yeah,
with the notes?
I'm telling
like
you,
when he does the song, he goes,
yeah. Hey, now the next time you watch him play, you're gonna be like,
and you're gonna be like, it's a magic show.
it's a magic show.
I figured that out. And I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
this is David Blaine with a guitar.
It is.
just,
it is.
just missing the white doves flying out of his breast pocket when he's ripping his
I do the
solo.
next
You
one.
you actually laughed about that. He has doves flying with him in Polyphia's.
Oh, he does.
He already did that.
Patrick, he's already done it.
Oh,
He's
what?
already done it.
They
Face of
fly
God,
around
or
him, but it's the same thing.
oh my God! It's like is he actually like riding a horse playing Bad Horsey?
I don't think he's done that. But you know what's bad? He's probably listening right now. He's like, these geniuses, they gave me an idea. I'm going to write lyrics. That's exactly what he's saying.
I can see his bad horsey wah-wah pedal in the stirrup.
Oh my God, on the stirrup. He's got 2 of them.
That's what the stirrups were. You don't even have to press them that hard.
I want to get on AI and make AI do a video.
Hey, he pays Kirk Hammett to plug them in for him.
Oh my God.
Dude, these ideas are gold, man.
They really are. I mean, but can you see it? Like, I can see the bad horsey on each side.
Yeah, keeping up with the gallop, you know.
Oh my God! And he's probably gonna have a double neck for each, like a guitar for each. They've got the single input jacks, and he's just like, yeah. I'm just waiting for the day they starts like playing 3 guitars and it's one in his mouth. He's gonna have like tongue. He's gonna be like tapping the shit out of it.
Yeah. The only way to go is more, you know.
Yeah.
But by the way, highly touted. Okay. Also, my favorite thing was, remember when he like broke his arm and he made an entire album with one hand?
Dude, did you see that? Oh man,
I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, it's like.
I wish I could.
So the right arm is fucked up and he can't use it anymore. So he decided to record a whole album that way. And I was just like,
I mean, what dedication?
what? I mean, honestly,
Like, man, like I couldn't imagine. Like, he's all about it. I can't hate him for it. You know?
no, I respect him for it even more. In fact, I'm actually very jealous.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
he took his weakness and used it as a strength.
you know what? I'm impressed. He took these like amazingly stupid ideas that on paper sound a little bit crazy, and he made millions of dollars doing it.
No. I mean, I think he's a genius. You know,
And someday people are going to say that about my flaming bench press. And that's what I was getting back to.
and our whey protein,
Yeah.
and our T50 shake weight.
I can already see the commercial. Do you want your music to be strong?
Do you want to look like Patrick?
Yeah. Do you want to look like you've been lifting a T50 PV all day? Well, here's your fucking chance, boys. Put the creatine on that hand and start picking away.
Hey, we can edit all this
Hey,
out.
dude, I saw this old I was watching this deal. It was this old it was like they were going through 80s guitar magazines. And dude, I shit you not, they had like, you know, they would sell stuff. They used to have a lot of ads in 80s guitar magazines.
Like Guitar World?
Yeah. And anyway, one of the ads was for like, it was like this thing that you stuck your hands in and it dried your hands so your hands could be more dry when you played.
Oh, it was like a deep.
Like it was supposed to stop your hands from being able to sweat so that your hands would sweat. I shit you not. In the 80s.
Wow.
Shit you not.
I guess I never caught on.
And and it didn't. But I was sitting there thinking to myself, I was like, people probably bought that fucking thing.
I bet a lot of people still have one.
Probably do. Maybe that's what Bob's using when he's doing his one hand shit. He's probably like, good thing this didn't catch on. Otherwise, everybody could play one-handed like me.
Yeah. He's got a hand dehumidifier.
Hey, has anybody watched Metalocalypse?
No, I've seen
Oh, yeah.
a little bit.
Have you ever seen with Swiss Guard, like the insurance policy, they put like the jewel cases around both of his hands?
Yeah, like his
And he
hands.
ends up like getting them fucked up and he can't break them.
Yeah.
The barbecue sauce makes them like break out.
Oh God.
I'll go ahead and tell you, if we were to ever get rich, I would buy Kyle a jewel. What did they have in there? It was
A hand guard?
No, it was a jewel metronome. It was like made of like this amazing jewel, and it was like,
Oh my God. Dude, I would love. I'm a huge click track guy. I love metronomes. I would love to have a massive metronome up here.
just massive, like the biggest.
But hey, it's a miniature T50 that
Well,
Like an
you
Uncle
better get some
Ben
hella strong
metronome.
gears, buddy.
yeah. Hey, once you put it in here, you can't move it because you can't move it.
Okay, we were making this joke. This is the dumbest idea. We hadn't even opened yet, and we were like, man, what kind of security systems we should get? And I was like, God, I mean, you're a pretty strong guy. I'm pretty strong. And I was like, we should get a boulder like the one that they put in front of Jesus' tomb. And only we can move.
No one else can move.
So no one else can move it. So we're the only ones that can open our way into the studio.
No fancy locks, no nothing.
Yeah, just a giant fucking boulder.
Yeah, when you're ready to track, we're gonna roll that stone away. You just come in here and lay it down. You know.
I don't know why, but the idea of that always made me laugh.
It is funny. Like I could.
Like, could you imagine, like, Hey, like Leif, I'm feeling kind of tired today. Could you come open up the studio? Yeah, yeah. Like, how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
Like you make the musicians have to move the board. Like, this is your test of trials.
Yeah. If you want a good vocal tape, you got to move this door.
Yeah, time to get warmed up, boys.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
If you can move this folder as a band,
Dude, we've had
play as a band.
yeah, we've had so many dumb ideas in here, man. It's crazy. Like, it's just blow your mind. Well, by now it probably wouldn't blow your mind, but it's always a good time up here, dude. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, when we first opened, me and Kai used to stay up here to fucking 3 or 4 in the morning just bullshitting about the stupidest stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. We thought about putting you can't see it, but the ceiling's pretty tall. We thought about putting an automatic rail system in here for me. Like, because I'm sitting, and I'm always having to go back and forth from the live room, move a mic around or whatever. And Leif was like, dude, what if we put in like a rail system where you never had to leave the chair? So I entertained this. I was like, man, that wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be a bad idea at all, man. You sit around, it's like your own little personal vehicle. If you got to go move a mic, you just hover in there while you're eating food, and, come back. You never have to leave.
Never have to get.
It's a great idea.
Oh, okay, it's funny you say
People
that.
in Beetlejuice.
Dude, yeah.
Dude, this was like a year or two later, and it was Tom Petty's guitar show in his home studio.
Oh, God, yeah.
And dude, I shit you not, he had a fucking track system that went around his little studio area, and it would like stop and bring down the fucking guitar where he was sitting. And I went, motherfucker, we need it. They have the technology.
It's available.
They've done it.
We've arrived.
We have arrived. This is 21st century shit.
Yeah, dude. But hey, we still hadn't gotten installed yet. Unfortunately.
Hey, it would be
Yeah.
cool because like we probably got like 40 guitars here, something like that.
Probably, yeah.
We got a whole room in there. And you got to admit, having a track system would be really fucking.
Dude, yeah, because a lot of times I'll do overdubs sitting in front of the computer, and just to have a conveyor belt, it's like you punch a button, it's like a vending machine. It's like give me the T50. It comes in, just drops in my lap, and we're off to the races. How awesome would that be,
If it didn't crush you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if it didn't kill me, it'd be
Never be able to walk again.
yeah, I wouldn't have to, man.
Yeah, you don't have to walk again.
Yeah,
Who needs
That's
these
what the
legs?
rails are
I got a
for.
conveyor belt of guitars and a rolling chair. I'm set for life. Why do I need to walk again? I don't need to get up.
Fuck this walking.
Yeah, dude.
If you need to really walk, you use your hands.
Yeah. Well, yeah, dude. I think Slim is waiting on this.
Oh yeah.
We're going to call it quits, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude, I think you got plenty of content, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's gonna go back to us and like, man, these were the stupidest.
I can't
Why did I do this?
This is going to be episode 300, the special episode.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, that's funny.
This is the 4th anniversary.
Yeah. But dude, once again, man, I really appreciate you having us on, and looking forward to having you come down here and touring the museum and
Hell yeah.
rocking with us, man.
Maybe
Yeah,
things gonna
dude.
be like we'll have the conveyor.
Yeah, you might have the conveyor belt installed by the time you get here.
Yeah, dude. It definitely want to come down, and yeah, thanks for jumping on as well. It's
Awesome.
been fun.
Well, cool, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, let's have everybody tag Co Wetzel, get his ass in here, and let's be on the lookout for a female vocalist for Sick and Tired.
And Dexter.
And yeah, holler at them, man. I would love
will.
to talk to them and see if we can come up with a game plan. And
3D Agrival.
yeah, dude, I would love to talk to them and see if they'd be a fit for the project. And dude, you never know where the road's going to take us.
Yep.
You never know.
Yeah. Definitely keep in touch with you guys. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, cool, man. Well, once again, dude, I appreciate you having us on. And hey, for the next special number podcast, give us a shout.
We'll call it Welcome to Tone City.
Yeah.
There you go.
Fractals and AI.
Tone City,
Yeah.
USA, baby.
Hey, the thumbnail's just going to be a T50 guitar.
Yeah.
Clickbait.
Oh, that's funny. But
Cool, man.
all right, guys. I'll talk to
We'll
you.
holler you later, brother.
See you, bro.
All
We're
right.
gonna leave this powered up.
All right.
Later, man.
I'll-
See you, dude.
later. See ya.